Welcome everyone to the April Parks and Recreation Commission meeting in Cupertino City. So let's do a roll call.
All right, Commissioner Kamarappa.
Present.
Commissioner Srikanth. Commissioner Stanek. Here. Vice Chair Bono.
Present.
And Chair Swami.
President. So the first, we have some postponements and oral communications. So this portion is reserved for the people who want to.
Point of order, we have to go to approval of minutes first.
Oh, we'll do the approval of minutes of the last one. So let's actually go ahead and approve the minutes for March 6, 2025 Parks and Recreation. And I want to thank you, Vice Chair Bono, for taking over when I was in surgery
Anytime.
and recovering from that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually listened to the recording and the presentations were wonderful for the candidates. So let's go ahead. And who wants to?
To the chair, would like to make a motion to approve the March 6th, 2025 Parks and Recreation minutes, sorry.
Meeting minutes. Who'd like to second that? Excellent. All right, let's go through the approvals. Are you going to call the motion?
Yes, we'll call for a vote. Commissioner Kamarappa. Commissioner
Yes.
Srikanth.
Aye.
Commissioner Stanek.
Yes.
Vice Chair Bono.
Yes.
Chair Swami.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. The next one is postponements. Are there any postponements?
No postponements.
Okay. Oral communications. Are there any oral communications?
1 second. Double check. Don't. And no oral communication.
Oral communications, let's go on. Are there any written communications?
Don't believe the commission received any written communications for this meeting.
Okay. Do we have any old business?
No old business.
Excellent. So we have new business. Any new business, we can move on. If we don't have any new business, we can move on to the capital, or part of the new business will be capital improvement programs fiscal year 2025-26 and the 5-year plan. Staff report. The staff is going to give us a staff report for that, right?
You go, point where you just go ahead and read the recommended action.
All right. The recommended action is to receive the presentation and provide input on the development of the proposed capital improvement programs fiscal year 2025-26 and 5-year plan as related to parks and recreation. The staff will give us a report. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Thank you, commissioners and members of the public. My name is Susan Michael. I am the CIP manager and director of public works. Chad Mosley is also here in support. He's my silent partner tonight. But we're here to introduce the proposal for the fiscal year 2025-26 CIP program. So as I said, it's the 2025-2026 capital improvement program and 5-year plan. And the recommended action is to receive the presentation and provide input. Approval, it's worth noting that approval of the 25-26 CIP program with funding will be part of the city's annual budget adoption in May and June, whenever that is actually scheduled. It is important to note that years 2 through 5 of the 5-year plan are included for planning purposes to identify potential future expenditures and workloads. These future projects will not be funded with the approval of the 25-26 CIP. It's always a question. I wanted to also point out that we have, with the updated city website, we have an updated CIP page. And it has all sorts of goodies on it. Get my mouse over there. There's more information about projects. There it is. And the CIP dashboard, which is we've had for a couple of years, is still there. The CIP books are published on the 4th tab, and the bottom tab is other resources. And you'll find all sorts of documents there, like the Parks and Recreation System Master Plan is linked. And the Facilities Condition Assessment Report is linked there. I tried to put as many things as we could in there that we sometimes refer to when coming up with CIP projects. So there's that. So tonight's agenda is that we'll first talk about our achievements from the last fiscal year, the existing CIP projects, and then we'll reveal the proposed projects for fiscal year 25-26 and the 5-year plan. And following that, we'll talk about next steps of the program. So the achievements. So before we get into actual projects that we completed, I thought it'd be good to helpful to talk about the process that it takes to accomplish a project and what is a CIP project, because that's a very common question. There are 3 types of projects that we talk about frequently in the city: special projects, city work program projects, and CIP projects. The city work program projects, which is also called the CWP, are council-initiated projects that reflect the council's priorities. They are driven directly by council priorities. Capital Improvement Program, CIP, projects are improvements to the city property and infrastructure, aka capital. We need to keep our storm drains, roads, buildings, parks, etc., safe and in good repair. Council approves the CIP each year, so the CIP also reflects the council's priorities, but the driving force is safety, longevity, and community well-being. So special projects are defined as one-time staff-initiated projects that require city council approval due to the need for budget appropriations that exceed the department's base budget. This was on the council's agenda last night, so I stole the definition. This may be a maintenance project or budgetary restructuring or a special occasion clown festival. Just crazy examples. A special project or a maintenance project that would become a CIP project if it requires the engagement of specialized consultants for engineering or design or something like that. In other words, if the project needs project management, it will become a CIP project. So this current fiscal year, the city has completed or will complete soon a number of CIP projects. We've been able to complete these in spite of limited staffing resources on our CIP division. We wanted to include this slide to provide a visual of the numerous process steps it takes to deliver a CIP project. This is a fairly standard flowchart process for completing any construction project. However, the California Public Contracting Code, which dictates how cities must procure construction, has many requirements that govern many of the steps contained in this flowchart. This does add time and complexity to each project. So there's a lot going on. So let's talk a little bit about the projects we did this year for the CIP. We completed the McClellan, De Anza, Pacifica intersection rework, and we did repair to a storm drain outfall that's nearby Avenue. You also see on the list of active projects, the Vi Avenue outfall is still there because it's the replacement of the outfall as opposed to the repair is a major project. And we just wanted to report here that we did happily achieve the repair of the pipe. But the bigger project is going to require valley water and environmental permitting, and we're going to be working on that for the next 2 years. So we also finished the restriping of the improved bike lanes on De Anza Boulevard and completed the replastering of the Blackberry Farms pools and related aid. That was exciting, and we also got lane markers. I like. Another project that is nearly complete is the Jellyman All-Inclusive Playground. We're looking forward to having the grand opening in early June. So watch your calendars for that. It's very exciting and it looks great. So existing CIP projects, we wanted to highlight that we have 28 active projects, 5 in facilities, 5 in parks, 6 in streets and infrastructure. That's what the colors relate to. 9 bike ped transportation projects and 3 sustainability projects. Sustainability is a new category this year. We thought that none of the categories I just mentioned have fiscal impact. It just helps to kind of see where the money's going and the efforts are going in the city. Sustainability does reflect our city's values in terms of the climate action plan. So it made sense to have its own category. So attachment A from your packet also has a great deal of information on the existing parks projects, the status of each project and projected schedules for the projects, in terms of a narrative. It also has information on the staff's evaluations on whether or not to defund any of the existing projects and possible projects for the next 5 years. We wanted to give a status report on some of the existing parks projects that are mentioned here. As I previously said, Jollyman All-Inclusive Playground is close to being finished. The number 9 is the McClellan Ranch Preserve West Parking Lot improvements. Basically, when that parking lot was, paved and we had to add a native planting for the environmental permit. And that requires a 5-year monitoring that we still have 3 more years to go on it. So that's just one of our projects. And the annual playground replacement, we had installed 2 playgrounds, new playgrounds at Creekside, and we're geared up to work on Canyon Oaks and Little Rancho playgrounds. But both of those are on hold until I get a new project manager that can manage the projects. Is hopefully in the near future. Also, Lawrence Midi. Lawrence Midi project is continuing. We're working on the schematic design presently. The plan is to take schematic design and cost estimates that we're presently in progress with to council in May or June. That is going along, and we also have been working on the park amenities, and I know that you wanted an update on that. So the first one, our 21-23 projects are the amenities that were installed, and we talked about a lot of those. In 23-24, we did 20 new picnic tables at various parks, Jollyman, Wilson, and Memorial. And we being the grounds team got these accomplished. So kudos to them. The benches at Linda Vista and Jollyman Dolas were installed. And we also got benches at Wilson Basketball Court, which are a nice addition. In fiscal year 24-25, they've installed large barbecues and serving tables at both Portal Park and Creekside Park. New benches outside the Wilson Park Ceramic Studio. Picnic tables and recycling trio, which is the 3 cans, are gonna be part of the Jollyman All-Inclusive Playground. And the Creekside area, we're adding 5 picnic tables and 2 gaming tables to expand the group picnic area there, increasing revenue possibilities. And hopefully for the coming year, we're gonna continue our parks and benches where they do occur, where we're asked to do that by Leslie Parks and Rec Department. But also the Linda Vista Dola users have requested hedge and fence installation at Linda Vista. And we're hoping to do that later this calendar year. So, the new projects. First one, I just mentioned how we prioritize CIP projects. How do we come up with our list? Our highest priority projects are those that are necessary to protect the public health and safety. We do take in feedback and comments from council, commissions, and the community. I think if you go through the attachment A, you'll see that a number of projects have been direct suggestions from community, for example. One of our resources for direction comes from the master plans that have been generated in the recent past. And there are projects that are subsequent phases of existing projects. And it's logical to continue those projects, like Regnart Road improvements we did. There is a phase 2 that we need to do. And that was identified in a report, etc. We aim to do projects that are fiscally responsible to ensure the most efficient use of taxpayer dollars. This includes being responsible resources like staff. We don't want to overcommit to projects that we can't activate. I will mention here too, because we said mention the commissions, that we asked staff and commissions for input on projects in January of this year. Specifically in January, this commission was asked for input on the city work program, and the liaisons were asked to mention CIP. We didn't make a hard push at that time because we didn't have any budget for new projects, none. And the fact that we this year have a $2 million budget actually came after that, more like February, March. So the fact that the 2 million is allocated came later, and you'll see in the next couple of slides, the allocated CIP budget is small and the ability to consider new ventures is quite limited. So that's why you haven't heard much from CIP up to this point. So our new projects. So the first one is that, we had a major storm drain, imminent failure on Steel Street Boulevard at the Calabasas Creek. And we also had, the Vi Avenue storm drain that was identified last year. And after those two issues came to light, this prompted Public Works to commission a report to document the state of our city's outfalls. And just to note, an outfall is the last section of a storm drain that drains out into a. So we are requesting $950,000 to address three of these outfalls. It's expensive. And we'll follow up with requests for additional funding in the coming years, because there's just so many that are in critical condition. The other requests for funding this year are $110,000 for ADA improvements and $940,000 for facilities condition assessment implementation projects. So, the accessibility improvements are basically that city needs to keep improving our accessible curbs, streets, pathways, et cetera, and that is a federal mandate by the ADA laws. And the facilities condition assessment report, we've had two reports done, 2018 and 2022, I believe, and identified a slew of things that need to be fixed at our facilities. So we've been trying to chip away at some of the major projects that are identified in those reports so that we have safe buildings for our community. I just wanted to give a little bit of detail on that because of the direct impact of the parks group and recreation. So most of the current FCA projects positively affect parks and recreation. Presently, we're working on Quinlan chiller replacement, a major project. They have problems keeping the temperature comfortable in this building, so that needs to be addressed. The sports center roof needs replacing, the Quinlan flat roof, so where the mechanical equipment is, not the tiled roof. That needs replacement. The senior center flat roof also needs replacement. The sports center shower rooms, getting the design done now, we're gonna put off the actual project construction until next year because there's other projects we need to do, which I'll tell you about. This year, we're also working on the senior center fire alarm system upgrade. We've got grant funding for that. And the senior center HVAC replacement. We've got enough money to replace some of the units there. That would be grant funding. That's $2.4 million worth of work that's underway. So that uses up the money that we have, so that's why we're asking for more money. And with the $940,000, we're hoping to improve the fire alarm systems, replace at Monte Vista Preschool and Gymnastics buildings, Creekside Recreation Building, the Service Center Admin Building, and Sports Center. And then next year, as part of the 5-year plan, we're hoping to replace the fire alarm system at the library, which is a major project, and construct the sports center shower and locker room improvements that we getting the design for now. So that'll be in the 5-year plan. I'll show you in a moment. So this is a table showing those three projects that amounts to our $2 million that we were allocated this year. Due to this limited $2 million for the CIP program, we've taken a back to basics approach to the projects. We understand that while these projects are important, they are not very exciting. We need to focus the CIP funds on projects that will promote public safety, protect the public and private property, and update our existing infrastructure. In the last few years, we've created new facilities for parks and recreation, and Cupertino has done a superb job in rehabilitating our roadway pavement over the last decade. But we now need to divert some of that focus to other city structure elements that are in need. And the 5-year plan. So the 5-year plan shown here respects projected $2 million budget going forward and aims to address our most critical infrastructure needs. So as I mentioned, the ADA accessibility and the facility condition assessment projects will continue to need funding. So those are shown on the first two lines. The outfall repairs, we've also projected to continue to fund that in the next couple of years because we really need to get in front of that. And in year 4, we're looking to implement the repairs to the Blackberry Farm Golf Course irrigation system. That irrigation system is 60 years old, I believe. It is in deep need of repair, but put it in the 4th year because we're trying to work with the staff that we have. So it's really a staffing thing that has put it off to that year. So both years 2 and 4 are numbers that are over the $2 million budget, and we're going to have to look for other funding options as well as we might just have to ask for more money in those years, and we'll know at that time what the priorities for the city are and what we're capable of. Almost done. So the next steps. We asked for information earlier in the year. We went to council last night. This month is commission month for me. I am going to Parks and Rec tonight, Bike Ped and Sustainability Commission in the mid-month. And then we take the proposal to planning. Every year we must do that to review for conformance with the general plan. And that's April 22nd, and then back to council. And last night we were asked to come back to council to discuss defunding of projects. And that will be, I think, the first meeting in May. It hasn't officially been calendared yet. But the bigger picture is that after this point, CIP is a part of the budget, the city's budget process, which happens in May and June. So I did want to give a little update. Wasn't in your packet because it happened last night. This is the motion that council gave us at the meeting. And this is word for word what Mayor Chow put on the screen. So we haven't had time to digest it yet. We asked for input. In short, they're happy with the 3 projects that we've asked for, the $2 million to be allocated to. They do want the City Hall Annex to be moved forward. And there's money in current funding for the project that should be enough to take the design from 65% to 100%. They've also asked us to come back in October, November to discuss City Hall as a project. The reason that we don't have City Hall, for example, and other major projects in the CIP right now is there's no money for it. So that would be a special council direction to use some funding source that's for such a major project. So we are hoping to bone up on information and come back to council in October. I'll make it, the annex will be part of that discussion. We're going back to council instead in May to talk about possible projects to defund. And there's also been a request to look at the overall format of the capital budget, the audit committee. And that will happen after the budget is approved, actually, but it will happen. So that is the next steps. And back to tonight, we're here to ask for your input on the CIP program. And I welcome your comments, your questions, and myself and Director Mercer need that. Thank you.
So we're opening it for questions. Commissioner.
Yeah, first and foremost, on behalf of residents, and I watched the city council last night. Wonderful presentation. The packets are well done as well, and I echo city council with the coloring and all of that is very helpful. The only thing based on what we all discussed last night, and bless your heart to repeat those presentations multiple times, I'd be tired. But we are in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is Cupertino. Cupertino is Silicon Valley. We're surrounded by so many wonderful companies. And I understand that we do have funds from the city. We have funds from grants. why don't we tap or ask also, especially for Parks and Recreation, for any corporation willing to donate and or to help out financially, because these are possible. There are grants in that way that could be requested to certain nonprofit that would be willing to contribute to the city of Cupertino. And based on everything I've seen and heard, I think that is the component that maybe we should start thinking of adding. And last but not least, I looked, and this is only my worry as a resident and is that the proposed 5-year CIP, we're talking about Blackberry Farm with, as you mentioned, it's over 60+ years, irrigation, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna talk about it in 28, 29. But same as the annex, same as the retrofit, same as anything and everything may change if we do have an earthquake, if pipes burst like crazy. So the budget will completely go bananas left and right. So I understand we do that, but do we have the assurance? And that would be my only question. Do we have the assurance that, for example, for Blackberry Farm, knowing that how old it is, that it actually going to last until 2028, 2029? And beside that, my heartfelt thank you for everything you do. It's wonderful. Everything is amazing. You guys are doing great under great circumstances as far as staff is concerned. So my hat to you.
Chair, may I answer some questions? Is that right? I can answer the question?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
As far as corporations, yeah, typically the dynamic is the city or certain like departments or like Parks and Rec says, we need a new pool facility. And then CIP is the one that implements it. So similarly for the donations, I think that I'm here to implement based on the needs of the city. And I'm not the donation. I mean, that would be kind of the city manager's office, development, chamber of commerce. It would be another realm. But it is a noteworthy question. I will also just say, from our experience, we tried to do fundraising for the all-inclusive playground. That was a component of our grant that we're required to seek donations. That with consultants, we came up with the task force and the whole thing, put a lot of effort into it. The end result was there's really not a lot of great opportunity to get donations. And the environment might have changed with our budget crisis that we had. Previous to that, the disposition was the city is well funded. So why should we be donating to such a well-funded entity? So since that has changed, maybe there's a new opportunity. But it would be kind of out of my wheelhouse to take that to the next level. And the golf course, will it last? It has lasted well. We patch and repair it quite a bit. And part of the dynamic is that it does waste water. That is something we'd really like to stop from environmental reasons and the costs. We spend a lot of staff time repairing it, keeping it in order. So it would be great if we could get to it sooner. It's just a matter of resources.
Commissioner Shrikant?
I have a question on the FCA implementation. For year 2.3 million projected budget, what are the major cost of consuming changes?
The cost to replace the fire alarm system at the library is massive. I can't remember if it's 1.5 million, something like that. I believe that the shower rooms would also be a significant cost. It's one of those things that it requires, it's a small project that requires every trade. But it's mostly the fire alarm system for the library.
Commissioner Kumarapan?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's great. I think I left a year back, so I didn't know this where the CAP is. Thank you for putting it in first time with a limited staff on how they work on it, especially on the all-inclusive park side and everything. So great. And I have only a few questions. And number one, since they said defunding, so if you have to do a stack ranking of all the projects, so you already have like this is a number one priority being taking safety and other into consideration. So do you have that stack ranked so that we know that, okay, if I have to defund, I have to do this one. Instead of cutting corners on everything, okay, we can put a pause on some project kind of. So is staff already worked on those earlier? Okay.
Yes, so for the attachment A reflects commissions and council's questions that I've received over the years and trying to put it into a digestible format. And one of the things that we're asked to do every year is, are there any projects that need to be defunded? So we actually, in that document, tried to say why we believe that project shouldn't be defunded. Some projects are grant funded. It's free money. We wouldn't get anything back if we stopped away from that project. Other projects, there's other reasons. Like Jolly Moon, why would we defund that? We're almost done. You know, there's all
Yeah,
sorts
that's what
of,
I'm,
yeah.
trying to say. Once the defunding is okay, but
right,
you're already halfway through or even
Right.
finishing it. You want to put a pass on it, then it get rusted and whatever. So I'm trying to see that. So you have
right.
some plans to go back. Okay.
So we tried to put the information in that report that addressed that. Could say that it doesn't go deep enough, and that is,
Okay.
I think where council wants to go is to, what we're hoping to do is talk to the council members individually and say, is this list okay? Rather than going back with all 28. Also, since the commissioner has the table or the attachment A on his screen, the last column has remaining funds shown. Just because if we walked away from the project, that's an indication, wouldn't necessarily be 100% accurate, but that is an indication of what money might come back to the city if we were to defund that project.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons why I
yeah,
had wanted to know where it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two more questions, but the second one is simple. It says 2 million per year in your 5-year projected plan. And is it like a 2 million per year is what allocated?
That is
That's why,
the,
because the second year column, you put an asterisk saying that, okay, it is going beyond. Even though it's 3 million. So I'm trying to see, so you're putting 2 million as your base, and if it goes beyond, that's where you're calling it out as.
right,
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
2
so-
million per year.
that would be that's our ground line, our baseline.
Got it.
And so we're trying to stay within the budget that we've been told to respect.
Got it.
And it's all a budget. So that's why it's some years are a little above and a little below, but we wanna try to stay within that context.
Okay. And the last question is on the ADA improvements on the existing project. So is it like a new ADA rules, or because typically when we do the initial project itself, we will do the ADA compliance report and we know that budget. So is it something new got added for 110K? So I'm just trying to understand.
The building codes are always changing,
Changing.
but this isn't reflecting that. It's more that we did in 2015, we did a self-evaluation ADA report that's required by the laws to have a plan. It's called a transition plan. And I think what the powers that be recognize is that every entity has facilities that aren't up to current codes.
Okay.
You can't go and do everything. So you need to have a plan for how you're going to address those. And we've been chipping away at it. We're building, if you have a commercial building that you're renovating, you're required to bring it up to code, to accessible code. But if you're not doing anything to that building, you're not required to bring it up to accessibility unless somebody says, hey, your building isn't accessible and you're sued. So there's a risk and liability. So whenever we touch a facility, we are required
Got
to
To upgrade to
do
the- okay.
things. And then when we notice anything that is blatantly, needs to be more accessible, then we also address that. So
Awesome.
it's a fund that we keep coming back to. We always have more need for more money there. We
Thank
use
you.
it.
That's all I had to get. Thank you.
That's good. Commissioner Stanek?
Thank you. Just a quick question. Which building is the city hall annex?
So in 2022, building of Torrey Avenue.
Okay, so it's the building. Wow, okay.
Yes.
And so you're going to council in May or June on Lawrence Mitty with design, is that?
So the council likes to have updates on our projects. And we were planning to go back to council with, here's the state of the design. And I don't expect any surprises there, but also a cost, like we're getting a cost estimate so that we make sure that the reality of the conceptual design that we're now taking to the next level continues to stay within budget. And so we're also coming back on that and making sure that council wants to continue to invest the entire budget in that direction.
Is it possible to bring that to the Parks and Rec Commission before you go to council?
Depends on the timing. Yeah. I'll keep that in mind.
I have one question with regards actually about the 5-year plan that you have when you are allocating budget, especially for facilities condition assessment. How do you allocate budget when you have, for example, the drain breakage? How do you account for unexpected contingencies that come up?
Well, in that case, for example, we had actually identified that it was a problem that we needed to address, and it happened to be in the CIP that year. When we went out to inspect it, it became an emergency at that point. And we immediately went to council and asked for have budget appropriated. There are funds set aside for emergencies like that.
And that is separate from this, so that can.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes.
I also noticed that you have pickleball striping for all the parks around. One of the things is, I know it's not part of the CIP, but could it be considered as a policy where we can consider or at least look into asking the players to have the noise, a quiet pickleball bats, because it could potentially have a noise impact for the neighborhood. That doesn't come under the CIP per se, but when you're doing the striping and all that, where does the policy come and where does the CIP end? I know the CIP ends with the striping, but where does the policy piece get in?
So
That's something to consider.
the striping typically isn't a CIP because it doesn't require engineering. We did actually, I wanted to point to the slide, but it's not there. We did do it at Park Amenity, and frankly, grounds crew were the ones that implemented it. CIP manages the budget in that case, so it's kind of an exception to the rule. In the case of the current pickleball status and lovely community, the shift has been to ask to have the current court that's temporarily striped permanently striped. And I believe we're also pursuing, if we have the money, to do sound abatement at that court. And so that would also be, I think, handled in an operational sense.
Right.
It's using operational funds and not CIP. If we're building a new court, that might be a CIP project. Yeah.
Because this issue has come up in the past about sound mitigation. So one of the easiest ways is to require that people bring quiet paddles.
I think if those existed, that would have happened already.
It does exist.
Yeah,
It does exist.
that would be great.
Yeah, there are two types of paddles.
Make it a rule.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
I don't. Obviously, not in my wheelhouse.
Are there any other questions anyone has follow-up? Okay, thank you very much. That concludes this portion.
How about public input?
Oh, yes, public input. Do you have any comments and questions?
Did not receive any speaker cards for this
No more
item.
cards.
Yeah. All right. If there are none, then we can close this particular issue and move on to the next one.
Is there any input? I mean, there's questions, there's no direction to take back to council? Anything like that?
If additional money that we could get to fund certain project, I don't think so. Because everything will be reorganized in May and June at city council, so we look forward to follow what happens next as well.
Okay.
And we could able to respond in email too, right? Because some of the data,
Oh, yeah,
like I wanted to
Yeah,
send
yeah,
through
yeah.
it. We'll go through it and typically we will provide
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
feedback,
Yeah,
which will help you to when you go in front of the council.
Yes.
So what do we kind of?
yeah. I welcome that. Thank you.
My only comment is that, the projects that you've done are, those are all good, and the ones that are coming up look good to me.
I want to actually commend you for putting together in extreme detail. I think what you have sent us shows a whole lot of work that's gone Thank you for all of that.
Absolutely.
We didn't cover it in as much detail, but you have all of it for us to review.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sure.
Right. So Jessica, do we move on to the next item?
If there's no more commissioner comments, we can close this session.
We will be closing this item and moving on to the next one.
Fun one.
Oh, looking for.
So much fun. All right, the fiscal year 2025-26 community funding application evaluations and recommendation to the city council. The recommended action is receive staff report, allow for clarifying questions, receive public comment. So should we start with the staff report? And receive commissioner scoring, consider evaluations and decisions to provide funding recommendations to the city council for the fiscal year 2025-26 community funding application. It says the next item is staff report.
So I'll turn that over to Jacinta Liang, and she will give the staff report.
I will give the presentation. Good evening, Chair and fellow commissioners. My name is Jacinta. Welcome to an item of this year's community funding process. So tonight, the commission evaluation discussion will take place for the fiscal year 25-26 community funding applications. I'll quickly go over the eligibility and evaluation process again for tonight's meeting. So from the initial review, staff concluded that 15 applicants fully met eligibility requirements, and final eligibility of the applications will be determined by the commission during the evaluation process. And if you deem any organizations not eligible, you can give them a score of 0. So during this meeting, the commission will facilitate the evaluation process and provide a funding recommendation to city council. And the commissioners should have prepared their preliminary scoring already prior to this meeting using the commissioner evaluation form, which was provided in attachment C. And after receiving public comment, the commissioners will have the opportunity to discuss the organization eligibility and either complete or update their evaluation form before providing their total score out of 100 for each application. I'll take the totals from each commissioner and compile them into the evaluation totals form, which was provided in attachment D. And after that, the commission can continue the discussion or adjust their rankings. And from then, we can determine a funding recommendation for city council. So I can leave this up while we have public comment.
Okay. Does the public have any comments?
Do you have any questions before we begin public comment?
Does anyone here have any questions?
Yeah, no, very clear.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, can you take?
This is the public comment part. Please go ahead.
So now we'll open public comment for this item. We received 4 speaker cards thus far. The first one is gonna be speaking on behalf of a group. So Chair, if that's okay with you, if they combine, the time will be a total of 9 minutes.
Absolutely.
And I believe DePauli is going to be speaking on behalf of the group. It shows.
That's good. Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to present last time. But last time we actually missed presenting some of our seniors and volunteers testimonials. So we thought this could be a good opportunity for us to just share that with you guys. So in the next slide, we have a small video that we created for some feedback that we got from our seniors and volunteers, so we'll just play that.
I don't think the sound is going to. play.
Oh, I see, the sound is not working.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I play on my phone?
Sure.
Well, maybe we can start at the same time.
That sounds good.
You're gonna synchronize.
Count to three and I'll press play.
One, two, three, four.
App is very useful. The hotline is very useful because I am blind person. Sometimes I just can take the call and talk to them and they send right away. All this by hand. What I need to do, then I have very good experience. Boy and girl, they were twins and they were in the 6th grade. Was fun to hear about what they like to do. So kind of like give and take with them. Communicating was very nice. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's simple and easy to use. And it sends me notification when there are new events. It sends email as well, which is useful. Even saying that selecting the task was pretty simple. So I would say it's well done and yeah, I hours for volunteering this. And it's very easy to see, like right after it's the task. You can show your profile statistics and you can see it be updated there. But it's also very nice to help the surrounding community and helps you connect more with the others. My experience that is very good. Appreciate of the very, very helpful. Such a people. They're doing very good job without any effort. That is what God wanted and give them good blessings that time.
And wonderful. And there's just next few slides, just for some. There are other comments also that we got when we did this. And then we just kind of put some slides here because obviously we can't really get all of them here. But we do have a senior with us and a volunteer, this they wanted to say.
Hello, my name is Leela. Hello. I have a good experience with people. Whenever I need help, they have good experience. I tell you God, always tell you good. Improve their quality that giving a good service to aged people, senior citizens. I bless them. I can't stop, but no, I don't know how to speak English. This much I can tell you, they are good people. They help a lot. Seniors who need help, immediately they rest and they come and they take. Then I had good experience with elder people.
And then yeah, well, yeah.
Hi, my name is Suhaila. I'm a member of the elder team and I'm also one of the volunteers. And as someone who actively uses the app, I find it like really beneficial. Especially since like I don't live with my grandparents at home, it's really nice to connect with like the elderly citizens in the community. And also from like a high school standpoint, it's super helpful in terms of getting those volunteer hours and PVSA since we are PVSA certified. So yeah, Eldrade's a very helpful app. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. This is all we wanted to share.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
So, if there are any questions?
It's just.
Oh, sorry.
public. Sorry.
All right, thank you for it.
Thank you. And next up, we'll have Shakila Rosaya.
Yes.
All right, and you will have 3 minutes.
Commissioners, staff, great to see you all. I'm back for the same topic. For nearly 80 years, Camp Via West has offered a supportive environment where children and adults with disabilities can learn and grow. People with disabilities are often underrepresented in the fields of science, technology, engineering, arts, math, and we call it STEAM. We are seeking your support to expand our STEAM and outdoor education program at Camp Via West. This expansion will provide individuals with disabilities with the opportunity to explore their interests and achieve success. Our programs aim to break down barriers and empower people with disabilities by offering hands-on learning experiences and practical skills that prepare them for life beyond the camp. It's located in Cupertino foothills. Camp Via West aligns with the city's values of education, technology, and equity. By funding this initiative, you will enhance employment opportunities, foster independence, and promote lifelong success for individuals with disabilities. Your support will help ensure that Cupertino's commitment to education and inclusion is fulfilled. Please help us in empowering children and adults with disabilities through STEAM and outdoor learnings. Thank you so much for considering this impactful initiative, and we are always available to give you a tour. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And lastly, we'll have Nirvan and Abigail. And they will be speaking together. So Chair, if it's okay with you, 3 minutes each.
Absolutely, yes. Which one is this?
Active circle.
Active circle.
Active circle. Politics.
Oh. I'm on. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Abigail Angelo. I'm a high school student and I volunteer with the Active Circle. And I'm a marketing manager, so I kind of help out with marketing our events and seeing what's going on, looking for events.
I'm Nirvan Veer. I'm also a high schooler who goes to Cupertino High School. And at Active Circle, I'm the head of the food division. So I work with the neurodiverse community to teach them cooking and how to grocery shop and food related events. So we want the funding because we help children who struggle with mental health by working with Cupertino PTSA. They find it difficult to make friends in large school settings, and many of these kids are left out of social activities, which make it harder for them to build confidence and meaningful relationships. Their stories deeply resonated with us, and we wanted to create a space where they felt included and supported. So we organized picnics and potlucks, casual welcoming spaces where families could connect. To make these events meaningful, we worked closely with the PTSA to better understand the needs of these families. Parents wanted a space where their children could feel comfortable and included, so we designed gatherings where children could interact naturally instead of structured activities. We encouraged organic interactions. Parents also had the opportunity to connect with one another, creating a support group for them, and organizing these events took careful planning and coordination. We had to secure accessible locations, consider different dietary and sensory needs, and ensure that each gathering felt inviting for all attendees. We hope to continue to organize these events and inspire others to create inclusive spaces of their own with your guys' funding.
Okay, so basically our events, just to clarify, is we do these picnics or like potlucks, directly helping the special ed communities. We invite them and their families and their parents and their friends to come out. And we kind of just have seen the benefit this has on both the kids and the parents, right? The parents, it is a time for them to de-stress because it is a planned activity, right? We have activities going on. They can bring their kids, the kids can socialize with other kids, and they're able to also form connections with the parents. So far, we've already had 4 picnics so far, and we hope to have them once every 2 months. So we're asking for $2,000, which would be like around $500 per picnic if we look at a big scale. We see around 30 to 40 families each time, and this funding is really because of we are trying to have different venues, and also like we said, it's kind of like potluck style. So we rely solely on the community of like our active circle community to bring food, and we want to be able to have like more of a secure food plan. So a lot of this money would go towards that, as well as being able to have different venues. Because oftentimes, because of the weather, it is hard to like kind of plan, especially with these kids because they have sensory issues. So parents are like more hesitant to come. So we are trying to like be able to have more flexibility with our venues, so not just like parks. Maybe we can have an indoor venue when it gets really hot or if it's raining. And so we like to do that according to picnic times. So like during the summer, we had one at the like a small water park so kids could play at the water and they really get to interact. And this will directly help kids from Cupertino itself because 50% of our participants come from the school district. And this directly also helps the FUHSD district, the Fremont Union High School district. So all the kids there can also kind of, it's a direct impact into our community. And we really just want to help integrate these families into like this mainstream kind of society because it can be really difficult for these kids to find their own community. And so we're really just trying to provide that. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to us and we hope you consider us.
That is all for public comment on this item.
Thank you for thank you.
Okay, I will hop
Will you go on to the next one or do we wait for?
forward.
Oh, public comment is all closed.
Do we move on to the next one?
We're now gonna move on to
Evaluate.
The evaluations, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, we're doing
Move on to the
evaluation.
next item, which is evaluations.
I have a question on the evaluation.
Yeah.
For the demonstrated effort to secure funding from other sources.
Is that
How
if
do
they
you
get
rate that?
something-
Because in their application, they say no other funding.
It's on between line 14 and 15 of each applicant.
Yeah, yeah.
It tells you whether they're seek other funding from anyone.
Correct, and it says no, when they say we didn't get
Then
any
they
funding,
have
then
not.
it has to be 0, do you give 0? Okay, that's what I've done.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
Correct.
okay.
Now we can begin the scoring portion. I will first state the applicant and then I'll get a score from each of you. And then at the end, we can tally it and look at the rankings and sort them and look at the totals. Okay?
So to make it in my own language, we're basically gonna give you our first impression. Based on the collective one that we have, then we can have a conversation based on our findings and issues, and then we can navigate amongst each other to see what is the best resolution.
Yes.
Right, got it.
Are we ready to begin?
Yes.
So we just give our numbers out to you and you will track it and then we have the conversation.
Yes, I am tracking it live and tallying live on the screen right now.
I brought mine.
Sorry?
No, I could have brought mine one.
You want me to
Then-
make it bigger?
Please. Look at us.
Yeah,
Do you mind if we don't look at the project name?
It's fine as well. I'm having on my PC to be honest.
You just want to look at the.
I mean, I can read it out and then you can highlight the numbers if that's helpful.
Is this,
This is good.
this is okay?
Yeah.
That's fine, okay.
So I can tell my
You also
doctor
want
I
to
don't
see
need a.
the funding amount?
glass
and
key.
the-
Yes, I can,
Is good?
absolutely.
Okay.
I will actually go last, as a chair. I'd like to actually, yes.
I don't mind going
Let's go
first.
with, Commissioner Bonner.
Okay, I
Support for
this is
iTalent.
for iTalented.
I talented,
Okay,
you want the total, right?
Yes, I have
Yes.
100.
Okay, out of 100, I have a scoring total of 90.
Commissioner Sonic,
52.
Commissioner Shrikant,
Well, can we go this?
or you want to go?
Yeah, because I want to
Commissioner
see.
Kumarappan?
What is it?
It's easier for her to go with that.
Yeah,
Oh,
for her.
Yeah,
yeah.
oh,
So we don't get.
oh, sorry. Oh, okay. I need like maybe another 2 more minutes.
Okay.
Let's go around.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, mine is 70.
17?
70.
Oh, 70. 70.
Dramatic.
I'm in 75.
Yeah, so I have it as 65.
Okay, this one is for our second organization. Remember the Tooth Fairy, Vice Chair Bono,
52.
Commissioner Sonic,
76.
Commissioner Shrikant,
65. I did everything in the multiples of 5.
70.
Mine is 95.
okay. And our third organization, Active Circle, Vice Chair Bono,
65.
Commissioner Sonic,
86.
Commissioner Shrikant,
75.
Commissioner Kumarappan,
80.
Chair Swami.
89.
Okay, our next organization, this is for VIA Rehabilitation Services, Vice Chair Bono,
71.
Commissioner Stanek,
83.
Commissioner Shrikant,
80.
Commissioner Kumarappan,
50.
and Chair Swami.
95.
Okay, our next organization is Elder Aid, Vice Chair Bono,
67.
Oh, sorry.
not 95?
No, you were talking about VR rehabilitation services?
Yes.
That is 61. I was looking at the wrong,
Okay.
that's the road.
Not easy, is it?
Yeah, it's not easy.
This one, going back to Elder Aid, Commissioner Stanek.
Making sure I'm getting it right.
Yeah.
I'm marking them off as we go. Yeah, that's an elder age. 75.
Commissioner Shrikant,
75 for elder aid.
yes. Commissioner Kumar, Elder Aid.
Which is, okay, since everybody said I was just moving my cursor,
Yeah.
which is a 1, 2, 3. Rehabilitation. Give me 1 second. I'm
Mine,
moving project.
Put
No,
mine.
no, I just moved it. Yeah, that elder right, okay. Which is 90.
Mine is 95.
Okay, next is Innovart Foundation, Vice Chair Bono.
Innovart. 85.
Commissioner Stanek,
60.
Commissioner Shrikant,
60.
Commissioner
55.
5, Chair Swanton.
49.
Okay, now we are moving to.
Sorry, it is, did I say 60? It is 50 actually.
For the,
50,
Yeah, the you know what foundation minus 50.
okay, 50, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're moving on to returning applicants. Our next organization is Asian American Parents Association, Vice Chair Bono,
60.
Commissioner Stanek,
63.
Commissioner Shrikant,
55.
Commissioner Kumarappan,
50.
and Chair Swami.
31.
Okay, next is Rotary Club, Vice Chair Bono,
90.
Commissioner Stanek,
92.
Commissioner Shrikant,
65.
and Commissioner Kumarappan,
55.
Chair Swami.
35.
Next is INOT, Vice Chair Bono,
80.
Commissioner Stanek,
70.
Commissioner Shrikant,
70.
Commissioner Kumarappan,
55.
Chair Swami.
95.
Next, we have No Time to Waste, Vice Chair Bono,
100.
Commissioner Stanek,
93.
Commissioner Sher,
75.
Commissioner Kumar,
75.
Chair Swami.
98. No time to waste, correct?
Yes.
98.
Okay, next we have Special Olympics, Northern California, Vice Chair Bono,
70.
Commissioner Stanek,
89.
Commissioner Shrikant,
65.
Commissioner Kumar,
65.
Chair Swami.
80.
Next organization is Friends of Deer Hollow Farm, Vice Chair Bono,
78.
Commissioner Stanek,
88.
Commissioner Shrikant,
70.
Commissioner Kumar,
50.
and Chair Swami.
73.
Okay. Next organization is Chinese American Coalition for Compassionate Care, Vice Chair Bono,
80.
Commissioner Stanek,
61.
Commissioner Shrikant,
55.
Commissioner Kumar,
55.
Chair Swami.
45.
Our next organization is Cupertino Symphonic Band, Vice Chair Bono,
80.
Commissioner Stanek,
73.
Commissioner Shrikant,
65.
Commissioner Kumar,
65.
and Chair Swami.
75.
Okay, our last organization, we have West Valley Community Services, Vice Chair Bono,
90.
Commissioner Stanek,
94.
Commissioner Shrikant,
55.
and Commissioner Kumar,
60.
and Chair Swami.
58.
Okay, I am gonna move over to this tab that tallies. And I will sort by ranking, so or by scoring, so you can who's at the top and who's at
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do. What is it? Because I may have made a mistake.
What's that?
Oh, did you want to see your totals?
Yes, please, I want to make sure I give you the right totals.
Okay.
To begin, can you
Let-
do the total of all individual?
Let Commissioner.
Okay, let's actually have,
Or can I re-guide you on my entire list to make sure I have the right number? Oh, sorry.
My talented.
Yeah, hold on. Hey Siri, Lumos. Whatever you want.
right.
Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Well, I just want to.
I talented 90. 52,
Yes,
65,
yes.
71, 67, 85.
American Parents Association.
I think I have 60,
Yes, 60.
90, 80,
Yes.
100, 78,
78.
73 or something. I can't.
Seven-
73, then 78, 80, 80,
Yes.
90.
Go to the next one, we show the rankings.
Yes.
So here, here's my concern. So if a commissioner gave the same score to 3 different organizations, they're getting a ranking of 9 for all of those, and then their next ranking goes 3 more out. So what I think, because that gives these more of a lower ranking for 3 of them instead of just one. One of them should be 9, one should be 10, one should be 11. So one of the things we've done in the past is make sure we have the same
Stack ranking.
for multiple organizations, that you just add a point one way or the other so that it
Yes.
sure gets it a little bit higher and a little bit lower.
Yeah, I think,
Commissioner Stanek, what were you saying? I'm sorry, can you repeat
Okay,
that? It's
so
not clear to us. Let's do one at a time.
So if a commissioner ranked multiple organizations
The same.
the same, so say they had 3 of them that are 90,
Correct.
they get 3 ones,
Yes.
and their next one's gonna get a 4.
correct.
And so when you average those, it's not fair to give three of them a one for
Yeah.
that commissioner. So what I'm asking is for each commissioner to just change their actual
Ranking.
score by up one or down, so from
I think that
89 or
makes
91.
entirely
Yeah.
correct sense.
Total sense, yeah.
Yeah,
makes
that's what we've
No,
done before.
Yes and no.
No,
Yes and no for one reason.
Yes.
For me, ranking is based on the work each of them made, but not for the funding.
yeah.
I may have the same score, but have a different funding.
Correct.
So I think we should go over the funding rather than the number itself.
No, what actually, yeah, just to clarify, what Commissioner Stanek is saying is that, if, for example, I have
have 380s.
Yeah, 380s, right?
Yeah.
Out of these 380s, you can rank yourself from yourself, okay, out of these three, I want to rank this as 1, 2, 3,
Take
stack rank
one
them.
out and
Yeah.
make three
So,
different numbers.
Just put 1, 2, add 1, 1, 1, like one number. Like
Just to
basically
differentiate them.
Exactly,
Actually,
80, 81, 82, basically,
Yeah.
that's all.
Copy. That way they don't interlap.
Yeah,
I want to ask a question, Jessica. One question, when you're looking at, are you doing the ranking or are you forcing the total numbers that scores that people have given into ranks? Or are you adding everyone's scores and then giving a total?
That would be a question for just.
Yeah. So just give me a second. I just.
What's the rank for each one of us here?
No, that I get it, but I'm asking, is that the typical process? Is that you force the interval level, the scores into ranks? And then you look at ranks across the board, Jacinta? Okay.
Then they add them up.
In that case, I must concur with what Carol's, Commissioner Stanek is saying, that if we are doing it this way, each person's ranking, then if there are multiple similar ones, then that person should go and change them.
exactly, that sounds, that.
That is
totally
a more
makes sense.
reasonable
statistical
way of-
thing.
So, yeah, because we are ranking just internally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have a lot of 65s.
I know. We
So-
helped you to know that last
So I
time.
changed everything on my end if you want new numbers.
Yeah, so no, I'm sorry. No, I do agree with you because even though I stack ranked separately 1 to 15 in my column sheet, because I know that this is a little over than the other one, so I ranked it accordingly. So I have 1 to 15, but from here when it reject, it's not. But I have 1 to 15. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, sorry, mine is a little off, so can I just go ahead and let me go read through it. 70,
Yes.
80?
Oh, so.
So we're all going through our numbers.
Numbers, once again, yeah, it's okay, we can adjust, yeah. If
Because
the total
multiple
doesn't.
number, multiple eight.
Only 5 different.
I always make sure I'm on, because I know that that's a
Think so.
problem.
I thought
The funding is different based on.
Little bit conservative, I didn't go anything beyond 80, everything was 80 is my max.
No, hold on.
Because
First one is 70, active 80.
Okay,
So doing it by the ranking really normalizes it.
No,
It's a math thing. Just
70, 80,
I don't like that.
90.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Oh, you're.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
No,
70, 80, 50, 90.
No.
No?
Okay, we should have mentioned that. last
see,
time.
the first one is the, oh, sorry, hold on.
Yes, you're.
One,
Oh, okay.
70, 70,
70, 70,
80,
yes,
50,
77.
55,
yes,
50,
yes,
55, 55,
yes,
75,
yes,
65,
yes.
60, sorry, 50,
50,
and 55, 65,
uh-huh.
60.
So wait, so did you change, you still have some?
No, I have, but
The score.
original itself, the score is missing some, no, like it did, some other things entered, there's
So
something.
you wanted to make sure.
Discrepancy in
Score is
the
original.
initial entry itself.
Oh, okay.
Because I got some total, no, I will change it.
Oh, now-
Once I fix this one, I will change it.
I don't think that's not the issue.
What?
Well, I do.
That's it.
Mommy, I have 2 twos.
No, the total. Based on the total.
I have 2 twos.
3 twos.
Oh my
Do
God.
I have 3 twos?
3 twos. 1, 2.
Are you talking about the very first column, not the total?
The total. Can you actually,
So you got elder A.
no, which are the 3 twos?
Remember the Tewksbury.
Can you just sort just my column? Column, yeah.
Sort yours?
Yes.
Oh, you're going with Swami's first.
Here.
So what are the 3? Elder aid, INF, and remember the tooth fairy.
Do you want me to sort any others?
Yeah, mine and one.
Okay,
Yeah, but then once you sort it, can we just change it right away by one? Like if she has to make.
She can just do her changes and then give them, and then she'll put the raw scores in. And then it'll reflect.
Okay,
So I want to change. I'm gonna raise it. I'm gonna raise 78, so I've gone with.
Number 878,
Yeah, I'm gonna raise 78, so that's number 2.
okay.
And then, I'm going to, change that, okay. Now, next is, time to waste is 77.
Time to waste 77,
And, this one, active circle is 76.
active circle 76.
And then, this one. This is one. Oh, did I say time to waste is 70, time to waste is
You said 77.
Yeah, yeah. Then Alina is 71,
And next 71.
and then Cupertino Symphony Band is 74. So,
74.
because I have a lot of 65s. And then Special Olympics. Yeah. Sorry, so symphony, do I have silent? I'm so sorry. I have 74, number 73 is missing. So I do the Special Olympics.
Oh, sorry, you wanna go back?
Okay, so the Special Olympics, let's do 73.
Special Olympics 73.
This is her input screen. That's why she has to keep going.
Yeah, I know. Input 3. And then, what other duplication I have between these two? These 3 are 65, right? So between these 3, remember that 30 can be 69.
Yes.
And then between these two, I talented is 68.
Just 68.
And the next one 67. I mean, it doesn't matter. I want to keep it there.
You
Doesn't matter. And between these 3, I want to do West Side Community Services as 58.
58.
Yeah. And then this one, compassionate care, 57. Yeah, that's pretty much basically.
yeah, you can be on the same screen. So I have changed everything now with one kind of has set, so that you know to go back onto it, then once you arrange it, then it'll be. Can you go back to the original for me and I
Okay.
will go with one by one.
Okay.
70,
70 for talented.
yeah, 71,
71.
yeah, 80,
80.
51,
51.
90,
90.
56,
56.
52,
52.
55,
Yes.
57,
Yes.
75,
Mhm.
66,
Yeah.
50,
Mm-hmm.
58, 65,
Yes.
60. Go back and see whether I have any duplicates.
Oh, good.
Good, but it's 9, but we'll figure it out. My may be wrong, because
Okay.
950 minus 971,
Okay.
so I don't know. It's okay.
Well, I have 2 modifications, so avoid that. Triplication, Tooth Fairy is 94
Very 94.
and Enoch is 9. I think I'm.
And I did change a few things again, based
Okay.
on, because I had a few same numbers, so I can give you the whole list to go back.
Whatever's easiest for you. You can
Yeah,
give me
I can give you,
or give me the whole
no, I'll
list.
give you the whole list. It's
Okay. Okay.
90,
Yes.
52,
Mm-hmm.
65,
Mm-hmm.
71,
Mm-hmm.
67,
Mm-hmm.
85,
Mm-hmm.
60,
Mm-hmm.
95,
Yes.
76,
Mm-hmm.
100,
Mm-hmm.
73, 78, 80,
Mhm.
79,
Mhm.
91.
Any other
I
changes?
also want to change the Asian American Parents Association from 31, I'll make it to 51.
One.
40, yeah, 45, make it 45.
45?
Okay, I'm gonna go to total average.
That's the rough. And the commission ranking. So that's 1 through 15. That's.
What is it telling you?
Oh,
One missing, is it below? Under 56 there is. Tissue is
the-
a copy from the other one.
it's funny how
Well, you may be right. I'm
mothers are very hard graders.
not adding individual.
Can you please
Actually, mine, I will
sort mine for rank wise? I want to just make a note of
Mine
it.
was mine first.
Mine, yeah.
Want to see your rankings?
Yeah. Yeah, once more, I want to make sure. Yes. Oh, special brings us the good set.
Oh, that's the total commission ranking.
Oh, okay.
Do is there, but it's sorted on hers right now. So it's can't tell. That's yeah.
See, some
Mine. Not the
Just going to hers in her order. I'm seeing it.
Oh, okay.
Can I go back or you're still?
Almost.
That's good.
That's fine.
Yes.
Mine is sorted too, not yet.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, good.
It's okay. Finally, I'll see.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
So I think what we see here, if we go over here, the commission average, so this is the raw scores, our average, up here. And then this is just the one that we're.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
This is the average of where we ranked it, right? If you look, it's pretty much in line. This one, this one pops up over some of the others, so it's a little bit off in here, and we just may want to look at that.
Okay.
There's probably a lot more variation on some of the scores on that, so as we go through, we can look at that.
Okay.
Sorry, so what is how come the first one says average is 2?
Because you've got some people at ranking at 2, some people ranking at 4, but
Averages.
out of everybody, it got the highest ranking. Right, so it.
Oh, I see, okay.
That's 7 divided
So
by.
higher average means there's more discrepancy. So like
Got
one
it.
commissioner can rank it like rank 2 and then someone.
That means we
gets
are
it, like, rank
you are
14.
unifying at the top, looks like the top one is like everybody is kind of
Right.
unified one.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not sure that 8.2, 7.8, those things are the ones we have a big discrepancy.
Yeah, the top 4,
Yeah,
there's no disagreement at all.
Yeah.
And then it's just like in here, so it'd be interesting to see, so, how does the funding, these are some pretty small numbers, so we could start looking at that, maybe how far down can we go and where.
yeah, correct.
Crossing lines.
Yeah.
And
So if you could,
make some,
yeah, but I think,
adjustments.
Actually, I agree with that because when you look at the amount requested, particularly for 9, when we look at the $10,000, which is really a big number because we all just looked at, I don't know how many of us looked at the ask number. I did. But for me, it was like West Valley Community Service is great, but we want to give $10,000?
Right, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's exactly.
Exactly.
Why don't we have And a also- conversation on each one?
See,
A quick
Because
summary.
everything else is very even. That and the Innovart Foundation are the two that stick out because everything else is fairly normalized. There was some which was.
But let's focus on the ones that we are having issues
I
with.
am bound ones are the ones I want to talk to, especially if they have a chance of getting funded because it will come at the cost of something else.
And also, there are some organizations that are really big and
Would you-
established. For them, we can
Exactly.
overrank them because they may get funds from.
That is true. That's true. And also the
Well-
other thing to keep in mind is that what extent is the Cupertino community
Correct.
getting?
Yeah, so we have to take
And
every
West
part
Valley,
into that
West
too.
Valley
So-
Community Services not really focused on Cupertino City.
Yeah.
And that's a huge amount that's going out of our
Yeah.
budget.
And also how much they received earlier and a lot of new people came in. So I took some of those things.
Yeah.
Why I really respect all of them. I'm sure that they may be listening in or watching. And really, everyone has a right intention to help on it. When I looked at it, okay, there are a lot of newcomers with the bright ideas with the kids and seniors. And
Yeah.
I say, okay, this is an opportunity that we should give them even first time. And they do help. And it's not that just an emotional, but based on the data. That's the reason my votings are based on it. Nothing to do that, or downgrade any of their other, for example, West Valley, yes, they do great things. But for that, I could able to help two
Yeah,
other
I-
tiers with $1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, that
That's
was
how I
the
started.
reason, exactly the reason why I downgraded West Valley, because I would like to
Same
spend
thing.
our money on Cupertino residents.
Well,
Yeah.
if I can give you also West Valley, obviously, based on everything there, the number of individuals that are helping is about 1,500. Out of that, only 350 are Cupertino
Exactly.
resident.
Exactly.
So the good news is that indeed they do have anticipated funding again
Yeah.
from Target Cupertino Rotary, Saratoga Rotary, Los Gatos Rotary, and the city of Sereno, Monte Sereno. So I specifically recommended 2,500 because it's a big organization. It's great work. We
Yeah,
love and support them, but they also get full grants from
Yes.
other areas and
so-
And we
donations.
have very limited budget and their
Correct.
ask is
Very high,
twice
yeah.
what everybody
Yes,
else is.
And let me add one more point, maybe just on a discussion, right? So I'll add one more point to it, exactly. The other one is, I really like the no time to waste one when I rated highly on it. When you look at it, they collect and they give it to West Valley back again. So their goal is, they collect all the things and for everything, they go and give it to West Valley. So it is indirectly, when
If
I
you
was
fund the-
voting for
yeah.
it, when I connected it, where do they go and contribute for here? And I say they collect 1,000 tons of whatever it is, and they give it to West Valley.
And
So
they're getting-
indirectly, anyway, we are helping. So
Yeah.
that's what I was.
I really like them, my,
That's right.
my concern, I was just disappointed that they didn't show up last week, or last month.
Yeah.
They didn't present.
No
to us.
time to waste.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean, they were my favorite because of what they're doing.
That is
But-
exactly
But at the same time, I don't think it's a requirement that they come and present to us.
But-
I'm really glad that there was agreement.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, no one likes wastage of life.
Their
and this is
Yeah,
just amazing.
yeah.
So
because-
with
And I
that
listened to
in
them.
mind, if anyone wants to recalibrate the West Valley to lower, please go ahead.
I don't even think
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
get there. I don't even think we're gonna
Yeah.
get there.
But here's what we said,
No, we
here's what
can,
the city council gave guidance, the mayor's meeting, that go ahead and rank if whatever budget you guys have, if we have discretionary, we will give. So I would like that to reflect in a way that if they do have discretionary, I don't want that recommendation to be West Valley, $10,000.
Well, so can we go through and just put a recommended award down?
for every one of them and see whether we
And
get
let's see how far we
Yeah, I
get.
think that would be a good start.
When we get to West Valley, we say 2,500 or 1,500 or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or change the
With
ranking.
our money, yeah, whatever we have 32,700, but they said, don't worry about it, just send us the recommendations.
Uh-huh.
We will look at our discretionary budget and we might. not.
Yeah, we only do recommendations.
That's
Which is why I'm saying that if we can downgrade from 9 to maybe 13 or 14, that might be a better way to look
The
at.
ranking, 8.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Claudia, you gave the numbers of how many residents they're actually helping.
And I have done that for
So West
everybody.
Valley,
Yeah.
it's 350, it's a big number still, even though they're doing thousands,
Yeah.
right? But 350 compared to other
8 or 12 applicants.
So the,
applicants, is
Yeah,
a lot,
so-
even though they're doing, they're spreading it, but the amount that's going to Cupertino, there's a fair number of Cupertino residents.
That's
that are
right,
getting help.
$500.
Agree,
So that's why I
agree,
said-
at the same time, as I said, they're also getting from other project, if we end up in funding it, that also goes to them the same way,
That's
so.
exactly what
I thought,
Commissioner Kumarapan was saying, that
I already
West Valley
used-
is getting it from no time to waste.
they are
So
the
it's
ones,
almost like double.
they are the main source for them to give it to
Yes.
for our Cupertino.
So they are double dipping, so that, which is why we can potentially downgrade it from 9 to a little lower.
Yeah,
Yeah, just.
So how, I mean, based on experiences, to be honest with you, there, like I said, for me, the ranking was one thing, the funding is something else, and I think we're
I think
missing
the
out.
funding is where the council
That's
members
where
said that they will.
we
serve
should
that.
focus
We
on,
should just focus on the rank.
on the right thing.
So the reason I'll
No.
so no, I'll tell you one, because when it is there, when we ranked it, assuming that they get another 10,000, immediately when they see the 9, because that's what you recommended it, they're like at 10, done. So what we wanted is that even if we put in the stack ranking, if they have 10,000 more, are you going to give 10,000 to West Valley? That's a question. And they will, because they will respect our ranking and they will say, okay, you closed all your funding by rank number 7. Okay, what's the 8? Oh, you need 10,000? Okay, let's 10,000.
Well, but we could put in a number there too.
No, we can recommend it, but still it is because they'll say, oh, still, you put on 8, so I'm going to give.
But I
Because that's
also,
a
I
I
say $2,500, you know, it's related, you can't.
no, I hear that.
Oh, because it's a related.
No, I hear that, but what I'm also hearing, Commissioner Kumarapan say is that they're already getting all that $5,000 worth of stuff that goes to West Valley. So that is in effect, they'll be getting about 15,000. So they can definitely be downgraded much lower because there's no need for them to double dip so much.
I agree with that, Jaya. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
But whoever I scored, yeah, you can, because that's what I immediately, actually, I wrote on that. One is based on individual ranking, then we need to do relative ranking, and then when we all together, we
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
further.
So right now they're at 8. Where are you suggesting they go?
It is on 9, it's on 8, so we can bring it down further to maybe 14 or 15.
So because I talented is 900 only, but those are the first time ones, so they can get it if it goes below.
iTalented can go up, relatively speaking, compared to West Valley.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
And plus they are, you know.
And they're doing
No,
STEM
that's-
research,
Definitely
they're
research.
teaching students about STEM and education and all that. West Valley Community Services can definitely be funded from all the other sources. We are giving them.
As long as it goes
They
below.
said that they serve about
12.
20,000. So sorry, out of the 20,000 targets, they're serving about 13,467 students in Cupertino. The money is really nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
STEM
agree.
subject, there's 12 classes and 90% of that is
iTalented.
that 90% of it is
$900.
Cupertino.
We should really give.
Oh,
I
They're
agree.
not getting to 13,000 students.
No, they say it is.
It's
No, no.
online, it's online. It's
No,
online.
when I looked at their
They're
website,
No, they're creating an online thing so
Right.
people can.
but the average attendance on that is in like less than like 30, 40 kind of, that's what I see it.
Oh, yeah, that's why 13,000.
And also, I feel that once the kids are out of high school, it's not going to grow. They are going to kill it.
Yeah.
It's, kids are doing it like a high school project.
It's, again, for the money.
iTalented,
iTalented, I think so.
if this is ever started, then they can pass it on to the
To the
next
next
batch
one.
of the
So-
students.
I want to encourage the students to initiate and the
It's already
teens in
there,
this, they
right?
need support from us, like we.
Yeah, no, that's why,
So it is okay, but for 900 schools for the first time, we should not even discuss. We should just
Because
allocate them.
the 900 will ensure that those classes remain free.
Yes.
So
That's really what.
moving, I'll go with what Commissioner Stanek said. Can we just allocate those funds for until 7 and the 6 and see how much?
That's.
And
what I
then
said.
we can
Because we
definitely
agree
move
on
the
the
talent,
amounts.
high
We
talent.
agree on amounts.
Yeah.
And it helps a more. for
So then we can allocate.
Symphonic, do we want to give it almost $9,000 because
No,
they're.
that's-
No.
No.
So,
So I think let's go down and
Yeah.
just have
Allocate.
that discussion.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Look, we did all our homework. We might as well share our knowledge and take it from there.
absolutely.
Yeah, let's do the.
So
Recommend.
maybe can I propose this, one? In the recommended award for the first 6, can we just give, assuming we are giving everything, whatever they ask for the recommended, right? No. First 6.
Six.
If we go to the recommended award first and see where we end up, and then we can adjust,
Yeah.
right?
And I thought we agreed to give $900 to iTalented, so that should be also part of it.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure that what is that?
Yeah, it's taken all the.
So you said 30 to 700,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So if I add I-talented one on the above, right? Okay, so definitely,
900 above the symphonic.
now for that, we need to officially make changes so that it goes up. I don't
I
want to right?
I
Storing has to
understand
happen.
we have to first come to an agreement before we.
Oh, yeah, agree.
That's exactly the conversation.
I think we
Yeah.
all
Wanna
agreed.
take down symphony?
Yeah, so symphony, I put in there only 2K here,
How much?
2,000, that's all I put in there.
Do a little more than that.
No, anyway, that's okay, but I didn't put that much. Yeah.
4,000 or 5,000, somewhere.
For the
you know, half of it,
band.
half, maybe 50%, yeah.
Let's put 2,000.
4,000, 4,500, I mean, something to.
Yeah, I could go up to 3,500. He's saying 2.
And we're talking about symphonic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Band.
I'll tell you, I'll tell you
Based on the
why.
last year.
How about that? I just need to find them. What's the mayor book?
Okay, I have it
I
here.
have it. Last year was.
What is
3,000.
it?
I have it. Last year was 3,000.
All right,
3,000.
so they're, the Symphonic Bank, they're asking for 8,858.
To me, it's a lot higher.
So they provide free concert, yeah, that's great. They only ask for 5,000, at least on the minimum on the application.
Oh, they have a
Um,
minimum.
Yeah, they do have them in, hold on, I'm so sorry, I'm mixing.
No,
I know.
they didn't have a minimum. They didn't have a minimum.
No, I have a minimum mistake.
Last year,
Where's
yeah,
my
last year, then 3,000, so. Right, but they have.
This column, if I
Right.
provided it.
Got it.
Oh, you already made, it. Fantastic, made our job easy, thank you.
Sorry.
So I think,
So this column, I listed the minimum if the organization provided it in
If
their.
they provided it, okay, it's already there on the screen, so that's great.
so I would say 3 would be definitely,
Yeah.
okay.
I had put 2,000, to be honest.
So I put
because they
2 too,
get
but I think I see a point for 3,000 would be good.
On 3,000.
Yeah.
Last year we did 3.
I'm good.
3 is fine.
We can do 3, yeah, 3 should be enough.
Okay.
But that talented needs to go a little bit higher. I don't know who all needs to adjust if we are in agreement that $900.
I'm okay with the
If
900.
you could just add 900
Just wanna add the
for the,
900.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get an idea, then we will see where it goes.
We need to.
Mine I can change, mechanical.
Yeah, we can change it later.
Yeah.
We know that I just was made.
I mean, it's gonna be like a group consensus.
Yeah, okay.
What else do we have there? So
And then,
Then.
remember the tooth fairy.
Yeah, also was a good program.
It's only $1,000.
yeah, I will give to
favorite?
1,000.
Very give it. All the.
I honestly, I would give them only $1,000, to be honest.
That's all they asked for.
Oh, I'm sorry, $500.
It's okay.
That's
Come
what
on,
they asked
yeah,
for.
it's okay, 1,000 is fine.
We're in violent agreement.
Yeah, 1,000.
Friends of Deer Hollow Farm,
So my,
I would give.
yeah, I would bring them down to,
Yes.
3,000.
the reason is, I
So we're going
understand.
too fast, I'm not following, where are we now?
Oh, we are going to this order of what we are doing the recommendations of the award.
No, but which specific applicants
So
are
we
we talking?
skipped West Valley, we're going.
Now,
Yeah.
we skipped West Valley now,
Okay.
and we are going to the next
Actually,
one.
Jessica, if I may bring the question to, are these discussions supposed to be private or public?
It should,
Everything's.
Just gonna
it
be
should be
public.
public.
Everything is public, we have
They will
nothing.
be listening now.
We have nothing
And we have to bring the
to
right reason behind it.
No,
so-
that is true, but we just want to make sure that everyone is
Yeah.
in sync because we close the door to the public, which is why I just wanted to be.
No, they can come in.
Still,
I got it. They be sitting in here.
Yeah,
That is
well,
good.
they all will be watching, and I
And
want
I
to make
just
sure we are open, candid, and
still.
Absolutely, so we're being very open, but we're also being clear that it's being recorded.
we are sharing our opinions, why we do that thing, so
Yeah.
that people understand even the same form.
So which one now? Are we talking about Friends?
So
Friends of Deer Hollow Farm.
that's a big number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my personal opinion, I ranked it, that for me, if you look at it, mine will be the last one, 15th ranking in my, see if you see that. The reason being that compared to other ones, yes, this is the two one, and then we need to build a shed for that one to cover. And I know a lot of visitors come in, but when I look at the number of visitors and the kids on it, that particular one, yeah, it's good, but when I relatively compare to all others, it's, that can be replaced within a shed in somewhere instead of bringing a separate shed for it. So I said, for that it is 7,500. In my personal opinion, there are not many things. So relatively, I felt that's not a top priority with the money I spent.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I really ranked it. That's my 15th ranking.
Oh.
See, that's the last one in mind.
I did
Nothing,
think, yeah.
no due, like, with the due respect, they want to do that thing, but I can live without that.
In terms of impact on individuals, I think via rehabilitation,
Yeah,
via
I agree.
Camp West.
Yeah.
You know, they said this is They had a very low number for the number of Cupertino.
Yeah, they have.
But what they didn't even add in, that what they do is they bring these campers in from have a disability. And I had asked them, do their caregivers come and stay with them to help? And they said, no, this is an opportunity to give the caregivers a break. So that's a whole nother aspect of how this is helping the
No,
community.
today she was presenting, I
Yeah.
got additional notes.
Yeah, so
Ready to change.
I agree, yeah, I think we should go.
I would say like we should be at least 3K and that is okay.
I
If they ask
agree
for a
with
five.
you, and by the way, I looked further on them. They have been receiving grants since, we're talking 2011. And
Yeah.
to date, is $112,000 of grant that they have received. Not only that,
Wait, no, you're talking about Friends of Deer Hall.
No, no, no.
Beyond rehabilitation services.
We changed.
well, and that is a problem, because if I'm not involved, then I'm not
Yeah,
following.
no.
We should.
And you guys
bring some
are
order to-
moving like
We
so
are on a
fast.
parallel track
We
that
just
is
talked about the Friends of Hollow, so what did we attribute?
Okay, so let's go back onto yours because we want to, so my,
You make it sound like we talked about it like.
no,
15
the reason
minutes ago.
I said I put that as the last in my 15th ranking.
I
in
agree.
mind is big, no,
No,
the,
yeah, back to dear, so I think.
hold on, just a second, let me
Yeah,
complete
one at a
for.
time.
So the 15, the Friends of Deer Hollow Farm, the reason
Yes.
why we moved on is for me, yes, the 7,300 is needed, but for the whatever the project they're trying to do with the shed, for just to construct a shed to protect that one, I thought, okay, there are other valid projects around it, so I don't want to, that's why it's the last in my ranking.
So, but what's the?
So I didn't want to allocate any funding from my
Any funding at all
perspective.
to that?
But I feel that it is historic.
I agree with
Yeah,
you for that
so we
reason.
need to allocate some funds.
Yeah, that's okay, I'll leave it to.
A lot of visitors go there, a lot of kids at schools go there.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Very much so.
And I think that's why I wanted to add to your point, so that we're clear, that they have received 112,000 so
So
far,
far.
but they also have applied and received grant from other foundation, government entities and other supporters. So we're not the only ones funding that.
Okay, in that
We need
case,
to
we
get
can
that.
bring it down to $1,000.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
agree.
2,000 maybe.
I agree as well. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah, let's do 2,000 and then we'll go one more round of
Exactly.
slicing and dicing.
Maybe
2,000?
Yeah.
Yes.
1,000 please.
For me, the rehabilitation services, as great as it is, I just was looking at how many Cupertino residents are.
That's why I agree.
And that's why I would.
It's only 8.
And also they are high.
But I gave you a different.
Yeah,
Yes.
our perspective is different.
I understand that. Having said that, we have such limited budget. It's such a small city.
Yeah.
We don't, and we are on
They-
a budget crunch. I'd like to use our money.
Yeah.
From my perspective, to the residents. I'm sure everyone has their opinion. As altruistic as we are, that altruism can be better spread among. the-
And also their program is.
Not only that.
Program is 3.38 million program.
So they
It's a
don't
drop
really
in the
need our
ocean.
money.
This 5,000 will be a drop in the
I
ocean.
would
And-
rather
and
not
if I-
give them anything and they can actually go to other sources because 3.8 million, like you were saying, it's more than enough.
We're talking via rehab,
Yes,
right? Where they
yes.
requested 5,000.
That's
And to
right.
be honest with you, out of the 362 individuals that are helping, only 8 are.
That's all, it's okay, 8, I already looked at 8.
That's what-
I had put 500,
Yeah.
allocated 500 on that.
So my point on that you were looking at Friends of Deer Hall was
No, no, no.
the 8 is how many
Yeah.
student or
Yeah.
campers they have, but they're also relieving the caregivers. who-
Yeah.
If they are a camper from Cupertino, their caregivers are also in Cupertino, so that's probably 2 or 3 times. In terms of
Yeah,
caregivers,
but-
so.
But
it's just a
via,
Perspective.
I hear another perspective. They got $55,000 from their many foundations.
They're getting it from many funding sources.
We're talking thousands and thousands of
Yes.
foundation that, we're talking over 200,000+ that are getting found in funds. So it's not just
Because they
us.
seem to be reasonably well funded.
Yes,
Might as well spread our money to.
and we
more
try to help
people.
Cupertinians.
Cupertino.
And at the same time, they are first timers here.
But that's fine. It doesn't matter if they're first timers to Cupertino. They have a lot of funding.
Okay, okay.
And only
maybe-
8 residents.
I-
That's
Let
why
me-
we wanted to
Let me give a different perspective because we are discussing it, right? But I don't, even though they have a lot of money, a big kind of a support from outside too. If everybody looks at that way, said, I'm not going to do it, then it is going to be one day it'll drop. And I thought we should give at least a little bit so that we encourage, because even 8, as you right now, I think, Commissioner Stanek said, it is giving care, because that's a very good perspective on that. So it relieves it. That means 8 families plus that 8, or maybe 10. So 24, 25 families it is helping from that part. So since they are supporting, I want to say, okay, you are collecting money from everyone. I'm going to be just a beneficiary. I don't want to be in that. So it'll be good to give some money for them too, which in that part, I'm agreeing like $1,000 or whatever we give it, I'm ready.
I would vote for $2,000. She came
No,
and presented.
May I?
Huh? Sorry, go ahead, Commissioner.
Again, it's on their application. They have over $4 million budget. 43% is Santa Clara. Honestly, with all due respect, we're trying to help with 8 residents that they serve in Cupertino. And yes, they are hoping maybe to get more residents, but currently only 8 out of the 300 plus they're helping. I strongly believe that $500 is a goodwill presentation and what they do, and we parted. But again, they've received, and I calculated it's over 200,000. We're talking 2,500 from Cupertino Rotary. Santa Clara County, it's 17,000, and then you have 55,000 for the Myra Reinhardt Family Foundation. The Gross Charitable Trust, 7,500. So they're getting funding. But again, it's only for 8 Cupertino residents.
I would go at least minimum of 1,000, but given the current.
No, but-
I know you asked 500, it's okay. My recommendation would be 1,000 at least.
My thing
Otherwise,
is,
it won't.
we can come to a consensus. I'm comfortable with either of them, but the reason I would lean towards it because last few years ago, we had about $77,000. Now we have only 32,700. And if we are even going down, how much, even if you are averaging it.
That's why we want to try to give as
very
less as
quickly,
possible so that we can actually do more. We want to make sure we have enough funding.
We have 30,000 so far.
Yeah. And we have an $80,000 request so
Yes,
far.
yeah.
So.
So, I mean, the one comment I would make is on this discussion is one of our criteria for 10 points is the demonstrated effort to secure funding from other sources. And that's supposed to be a positive thing, not a negative thing.
That's what I say. So
It becomes a negative.
Yeah, right. So,
yeah, no,
The budget is 4 million. And
Yes.
this is really next to nothing.
But number of residents helped matters, and here's 8. We have about
We have to
60
go
plus
with that.
thousand here. So we are helping, even 500, we're helping.
no, I think.
So, yeah.
So we can put 500 and if the,
Yeah.
Yes, because we don't want it to readjust later. We want to be as low as possible, and then we'll add based on what's left on the budget.
So, Commissioner Bono, I would think that we will put what we think that is,
On the
right
low
amount. And then slicing and dicing will do, even if it goes, Commissioner Swami said, we can go a little bit over 32,500, so let's not restrict to 32,500, let's.
We can limit to 32,500 and give the rest rankings for the council members to decide. when they
Okay, so
have
let's
to be-
go with 1,000 for now, and then let's see the total and slice and dice.
Comes down.
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000.
500 would have been my.
Yeah, because we.
no, I think sorry,
Send
I just respect on it. So Bono initially started 500. And I think he has strong reason too, so we can go 500 and then we can add to 500.
Because we're,
otherwise he-
I think for as long as we agree to a minimum, we can add
to more.
afterwards.
That's-
easy.
that's okay.
Sounds good.
500.
So, yeah, sorry, instead of going down and jumping up, Special Olympics, Northern California, we have given full amount, like first 4 items we have given full amount, we may have to revisit that to see if we.
So Special Olympics, Northern California, do we want to give the full amount or do we want to give
Yeah,
partial
so
amount?
before, I just want to make sure we are hitting 32 and then we will go and readjust, right?
That's
I
right.
have
No,
a full blast math behind the scene,
No.
if you want to hear.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Is everyone aligned that we should give the whole amount or should we give partial amount to
No,
Special Olympics?
I don't. And that's the reason why I wanted to take the role, because again.
So we want to hear from everyone's perspective. Please share your perspective.
Okay, well, they're basically they're serving 92 individual, but the 12 only
12
are from
right?
Cupertino,
12,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
exactly 13% of 5,760, which means I only would like to provide 750 for it. Again, there's many reasons for it, but again, it's only 12 athletes in Cupertino.
Yeah.
And we're still helping them based on the percentage of compared to what they serve.
And we can go a
Okay.
little about that, but Commissioner.
No, no,
your perspective.
Yeah, I already looked at those 12. The reason why I ranked high in that too, and they might need more is because it's all about the bowling one they are producing, they are introducing for the special need ones. It is very difficult. And then they are going to rent it and they're going to have so many training sessions for them to do before they go to Olympic. It's representing the city with those 12 kids. It's not that, like, for example, if I go to iTalented or any other things where they have only 30, 12 kids, they're all well-funded kids, fully fledged kids. Whereas compared to these 12, if you go to it and training them and taking them to the bowling alley and then giving them like 4 or 5 sessions, whatever, it really takes time. So, and if they represent in Olympics, Special Olympics, the Cupertino city, it's really, really important. So that 12 number, even though it seems to be small, but the effort they're going to put behind, I felt that's why I ranked high. But again, I do agree that we don't have to allocate full, but.
So for the fall, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so my comment on that is, I would give it to them because they're spending it at Homestead Bowling, which is in Cupertino. So the money is coming right back to a business in Cupertino.
Okay.
So that's.
And it is very tiring and it is an opportunity for our kids to go and represent. And I thought, oh, this is a real good opportunity.
So impactful.
Yeah, for me, it's so impact.
For me, the fact is that it is also special.
Yes.
So I would be, but I am willing to actually bring it down a little bit.
Maybe 5,000, make it 5,000, round it off.
Either 5,000 or 4,500 or something.
I think we will keep it as 5,000.
Okay.
And
Let's
then
keep it
at least
5,000.
the elder aid, no time to waste all those budget and then come back to the rest.
Yeah, well, and maybe elder aid.
Yeah, elder aid.
Do we want to have like 5,000 be our top amount so that nobody's getting?
There is a minimum ask
I
in
think,
elder aid.
Right, right, 3,000.
Yeah.
So if we gave them 5,000, they're still getting, 3,000 would go to get the developer to do the
Right.
security piece of it.
But for me, the elder, why I feel is because it is primarily for Cupertino residents.
Mhm.
And it's only for the senior citizens. So I just feel that is probably something we should probably fund 100% Cupertino and seniors.
Yeah, my personal thing is the same because it connects the teens
Yes,
and the seniors,
Yes.
which is one. And when you look at our city
benefits are
plans
huge.
on it,
Yeah.
it's really high, impactful, and it is growing. And that's what we need.
Okay.
So I don't want to.
that's
No,
the reason.
your point is,
Right there.
No, that's the reason I'm comfortable with 6,000
Well-
going to elder aid for that primary reason that it's 100% Cupertino.
It's not.
No?
It's only 50% of goes to Cupertino. They serve Sunnyvale and Santa Clara. So.
And they said it's also the entire
Yeah,
nation.
but the problem here, and honestly, this is my issue with applicants, and when you have applicants that do their presentation is one thing.
and
What you read is something else, because their total organization cost is 4,000, yet they're asking for 6,000. It's
I thought there was a
confusing to me.
mistake over there.
Yeah.
They talked about
We
it.
called it
We
out.
Called it out in the meeting
And-
and I listened to that.
And then it's an app for senior, but only 14 and above can sign up. I'm confused. I would never put a 14-year-old taking care of my grandma. I'm sorry. Okay, so it's very confusing, and what it tells me is that this is a first year funding application that they're looking for a sole person to fund. And this is the first time, so it's not Cupertino alone.
Here's the thing.
So-
Okay, I stand corrected on that. That is 50% Cupertino, but it's a substantial number of people. There are two things that I really, 14 years doesn't bother me as much because they're not really caretaking. It's really showing them technological support. Right? They're not taking care of them or walking them to the bathroom or changing their bedpans. It's the tech. how
No,
do you use the technology?
not the 14 years, but the 18 plus and
Yes.
the adults are the one going for a walk and
Correct.
other things
All
too.
of those things, yeah.
Maybe I think I see your point too, but I think they are starting rooted in Cupertino, they're spreading the wings.
Correct.
So in that way, I felt.
The address
Okay.
is in
In
Cupertino.
fact,
Yeah, they
not
are
only
in
that, the
Cupertino.
students started it from Cupertino.
The core jewel is here. I thought, hey, if we spread wings across the nation,
Correct.
why not?
But
And we need a
remember,
person to fuel it.
I just need to voice caution because again, this is it seems to me a startup that is looking for funding from Cupertino, where it serves also other cities and only does 50%. Her logic would dictate that this is not fully proven if that works. Yet I was very happy to see them today with the presentation. That was very helpful. But as a cautionary tale, I think 50% of the funding would have been more than sufficient because this is a first time thing.
Actually, I hear you loud and clear. What I was taken up by is when they're saying, as Commissioner Kumarapan said, starts in Cupertino and it balloons out because it's really an app. It's for the development of the app. And you know, an app doesn't have to be restricted to a city, somebody else, somewhere, but the app, what they are starting, the app is all that they are asking the funding for.
Oh, I hear you.
So for that, it doesn't matter, the money will be the same whether it is stuck only in Cupertino or it goes outside also. So it's, so I
Yeah,
think that.
I understand. I think maybe coming to one of the things too, what Commissioner Stanek also said, we can put 5K, seal it for now. Let's put 5K,
Yeah.
seal it as a max seal, and then we will see.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a
But we
good
will have
way
to be reminded that some of the ones that we'll have to go back to. Okay, because now we're okay to, I give my caution, we're fine, but
We will
think
again, so, yeah,
giving too much, we'll have to go back to it anyway.
absolutely.
And
So are we gonna look at any of the others, like Rotary? I mean,
For
what they're
me-
doing is they're raising money
yeah,
to get Thanksgiving dinners that their members give their time and their gas on that day to go. They buy the meals from Safeway. They get the names from West Valley. That's true, I think. I don't know for sure, but, and then they go and they deliver these
Deliver.
meals. So, and that's very local. They're not going far.
That is
Most of
correct.
them are gonna be
That
very
is
close, if not all, Cupertino.
We can definitely, we
So-
can fund some portion of it.
some portion, maybe $500 or $1,000, I think 1,000, because they are very well funded.
Oh, well funded.
Extremely well funded.
Yeah,
So
they,
let's give
they,
it
they said that they
$1,000.
serve 175 families that benefits from it, which is about 300 homes in Cupertino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
gets a
would,
Thanksgiving.
I would go for a 2K.
Yeah, I would go for 2Ks.
Okay.
And I
Or
would,
1,000.
1,000 would be enough for now, because they are.
Okay.
It's just cutting down on the number of families that are.
yeah.
But I think,
No,
is it,
it's not more
are
than-
they going to use one with
For-
this,
it's
or
for
they're
Thanksgiving.
going to add additional funding to still serve them?
No, it's just.
They still serve, they don't reduce because of that.
If
Yeah.
we don't give it all to them,
Yeah.
they will probably go look for it.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, they will look for
But they
it.
also said they may cut it back the number of, they said we don't know.
Last time when at one time, we had not funded them one
Right.
particular year. So the following year, they came up and they said, because we did not fund them, the thing that they cut back on is not having a booth in one of the places. So I think I'm okay with them not putting a booth.
And they did receive 4,000 last year for a
Yes.
different project, which was
Absolutely.
rebuilding it
Yes.
together.
So
1,000 may be okay to
They are
start.
not really cutting down on food. They are only cutting down on other
Other
expenses
programs,
like
okay.
putting up.
Maybe 1,000 if that is the case, then.
What I mean is that the project remains, so we'll just need to find funding somewhere else.
So it's just that they'll cut down on the
Yeah,
booth
2
expenses.
to 1, 1. so.
Okay, Claudio, okay, we've got.
One.
Let's do $1,000.
1,000.
There's a thousand, no, I'm trying to figure out,
Take
so
the
you're at 1,000, we're at 2,000.
2,000.
Okay, let's.
Okay.
It serves Cupertino 300
Okay,
homes, it's
fine,
not.
no problem.
And with that, I would like to go back to
What is it? Total?
no time to waste. And the other one, INAC. And see if we want to cut down these two.
No, INAC, let's not cut, because I know what INAC does. They come to us every year and they do a phenomenal job of giving eyeglasses to poor people.
Right.
In fact, even the teeth cleaning and all that, these are less fundamental things. In fact, if anything, I'd really like to make sure that those are fully funded.
Oh, yeah, so no, Tooth Fairy, it is not much. I mean, they have asked for 1,000, we'll do that.
Yes.
No time to waste, they have asked for 5,000, you want to stick to 5,000?
Well, hold on.
And we
I mean,
are
hold on,
under
guys.
budget right now.
Whoa.
It's 32, we have more money to give up. We have
We're not here, it's just
$1,300.
That's one person.
So how about the Asian American Parents Association?
For
They asked
me-
22,000.
For me, one of the things, actually, I would like to give that money to InnoArt instead, because InnoArt is all about mental health. And it serves a larger group. For me, the Asian American Parents Association, one of the things I'd always, they've come to us in the past, if you remember, Stanek. the only thing I ask them is that make it applicable to everyone. Don't make it one small group, because are you saying that depression, mental illness is only affecting one particular group of people?
Oh, no, no, Asian, no, that is compassionate, that is, Chinese American.
The Chinese American, yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but if you look at it, Asian American parents, they're asking only for 2,000. Maybe we can give some amount.
That's for the multicultural fair.
That's for a cultural.
Oh, then we should, that I will,
Yeah.
that,
Very good. I mean, we have the. what-
I was mixing the two, sorry, thank you for clarifying,
Yeah.
this is not the Chinese
Okay.
American.
We do
coalition.
have the, was it the spring, the Cherry Blossom Festival?
Yeah.
We have, the sister cities. And so Cherry Blossom is, the Japanese.
Yes,
Sister city, then there's the Indian one.
Diwali. We have the
Yeah,
Diwali.
yeah, right, that's sister city. They also do another
Oh,
festival.
Bhubaneswar,
Yeah,
yes,
yes,
Bhubaneswar.
thank you, yeah. And so this is another one, so I don't feel it's very different from
Yeah.
the other things that
Yes.
are happening, and I would.
Yeah.
I feel like
Which
once,
is why I would like, let's put it on mental health, like Innovart Foundation.
So now Asian American parents, are we doing anything at all? Like 1,000? No, we are not.
We don't have money.
No.
We are
Oh, we're not doing it all. Okay.
yeah, we don't have to fund
we
everybody.
don't have to
Okay.
fund everyone.
If the council has more money, we can recommend what we think that if you have more
We
money.
would say that go with Innovart Foundation. If
You know what? They're asking 5,000.
We didn't say give 5,000. We said we can give we have left the 1,300, we can put 1,300 there.
But their minimum is 5,000.
Then they don't get it.
Right,
They don't get
there
it.
you go.
They can ask for minimum, but we can still say we'll give you 1,300. Do you want to take it or not? They'll likely take it.
But I think they already said if we don't get 5,000, we're not gonna be able to do what
I
we do.
think here's
That's,
the
that's
thing.
why it's in the application.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't wanna give them,
Yeah.
no, 1,500 or
So
13.
we took the first cut.
And then, they
We
can't.
took the first cut.
Not really.
No, first discussion, that's good. One thing still, a big elephant in the room is sitting on the 10,000 in the middle. So what are we going to do? Like, yeah, this is okay, we will come back for the revisit on it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what are we going to do? Because that's a one sitting there in the middle.
Then we can
But
give
the
the
stack
remaining
ranking-
money, 1,300.
No, so,
No, because right now we were just attributing,
correct,
but then we decided to go as low as possible,
Yes.
then we go as high, so
Yeah.
there is no constant, we go up and down. So we're not following a flow here, everyone screams left and right, I'm completely lost in whatever you guys are talking. I'm like, okay, we need to slow down there a second and focus on one, and then move on to the next one, we all agree. Because
So-
this rhythm I can't follow.
So we talked about Asian American
no,
parents.
sorry, just a second.
I was not even knowing that.
So,
Let's come, let's actually
Yeah.
go methodically.
well, yeah, so
Okay,
now,
let's not just,
we need to-
once again.
yeah, okay, sorry, sure.
So we did the via, the last one we looked at is via rehabilitation services, which is 500, and below that Rotary, we gave 2,000. The next one, instead of jumping to Asian, we should go to the next one, which is a Chinese American Coalition for Compassionate Care, go in
Yeah.
order. And so when we're looking at that, we have agreed that we are not funding that for now. We'll go down to the next one, which is Innovart Foundation.
So you're not funding the Chinese American Coalition?
No,
Okay,
The
give me,
science
give me a second. Well, hold on, I haven't said a word on that.
And their minimum ask is 5,000.
yes,
Chinese
the minimum
American.
ask is 5,000. Which also kind of becomes a disqualifier.
Look,
Unless
for
there's
me,
way
and
to
I've put everything together for the Chinese American Coalition.
Yes.
So it's a very serious organization that takes care of serious matters, right? So, and also it aligns perfectly with chapter 7 of the health and safety element of the Cupertino general plan.
Mhm.
So it's, the number of individual is 30, but the number of Cupertino residents served is 10. Yes, I understand that they're getting grants left and right and they're fine, but I think what kind of message are we sending also to our elderly? It's a very serious organization. It helps a lot of people, Chinese and also resident, and it's a compassionate care. I think we need to be sympathetic and not just say, not this time.
So let's-
personally.
Okay, I'll listen to you. At the same time, they are at this rank for a reason. right?
Correct.
Based on all we put in.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I know this is suicide prevention one, that's why they are starting. I did completely thorough review of it too.
Yeah.
It's great, but with collectively, I'm sure they might be listening. This is the fantastic one, but relative to all others. So we are saying that it's not good at all. The message is simple. That's all money we have. If we have money 100,000, you get everything on it, right? But we are relatively ranking based on that because we feel some of them are much more with the minimum cost, they can make a major impact. And that's why we ranked it. If this could have been in a third or fourth, we will not even discuss this, right? I totally agree with you, but there is a reason why it is with the collectively. Nobody knew it. We just entered it. It is on 14th right now.
And I hear what you're saying, but.
And the minimum is $5,000.
No, yeah, they only had 5,000
Yeah,
was the minimum?
the
Did you
minimum
put
is
it here? No.
It's over there, they have put it up there.
Oh, yeah, got it. Right.
So
I hear you.
it is not that we don't want to, we don't have a fund. We just drained out by like a 7, 8, 9 itself. So absolutely, I looked at suicide prevention. What are the things we remotely Zoom they are going to do? They're a big, all of them are great. I wish I can support. But the rest of them with the minimum, they can do it. There are newcomers with it. So I said, why can't we do it? That's why we are at a state. At this point, even the last one, everybody is really a great intention, but unfortunately, the money we have, we need to really be diligent enough. That's all. I just want to make it a statement because people watching and they listen to later, they should feel that, oh my God, why that means you're not, no, we do appreciate, right?
Okay.
I just wanted to see.
I actually
I'd
want
like
to
to
second
agree
what
with that,
Commissioner Kumarappan said. They do amazing work. I also would highly recommend that in the future, they just open it up because they have figured out a system of how to help so effectively. And when they do that, it becomes an even stronger case for everyone to just get right behind it because it's the Cupertino residents it's open to. But in any case, right now, it's just that we are kind of collectively, those three at the bottom are there at the bottom because of a reason, for a reason.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think there are great applicants here.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Fantastic.
they're so impressive. And to not fund them doesn't mean that we don't think that they're doing good work.
Yes.
And
But I have
hope
to
that
say
message goes-
they do
gets
have a
through.
5,000
Yeah.
grant coming from the Santa Clara. Behavioral
And they also have, and they have a 5,000 minimum, which really constrains our hands as well.
Yeah, so I think what we've got is, we've got the three at the bottom that it sounds like some of us
Yeah.
agree that we.
Now that we
still have
discussed that, I
to put
agree.
Their minimums, what we have, we could play with some of the numbers. We still have the elephant in the room with West Valley Community Services.
So we
We're
have
under
about $1,300
Yeah, right. Well, that's one.
1,100.
1,100.
So
We have 32,000.
The total budget is 32,500.
500, okay.
So
So we have $1,100.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with InnoWork? Can we give iTalented 1,100 more and then West Valley 1,000?
No, sorry, before we allocate, I just wanted to now make a decision. So now West Valley is sitting there and we said, yes, we wanted to help. But we don't want just to go with what the balance is, like if it is 10,000, if it is with 1,002 and kind of. I wanted to do the one more round of, okay, we took it, like, for example, the 6,000, we said, no, we can go to 5,000 kind of, right? I would like us to formally revisit every one of them. We need to be in agreement that what we allocate, recommend. That's my, again, proposal. Whatever the recommended, I know you have some of the questions. So we wanted to make sure line by line, what we recommended, are we all agreeing to it?
So I was
Before
trying
we
to
even
say
do
an hour
that-
ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's, I wanted to go on, I was listening to it.
Sorry, what did you say?
No, the same.
Commissioner
That's, I agree with what.
So
I
we
think
need to
before
go.
we even do that, Commissioner Kumarappan, we should just look at, because we have discussed West Valley Community Services quite a bit.
Correct.
And so the ranking, we also need to be aligned on the relative ranking. So should it be at 9 or should it be below Rotary Club? So that is something to think about as well. So before we even start talking about those things, given that West Valley Community Services and Rotary Club of Cupertino both seem to be doing very similar work, maybe we can divvy up the rest of the money, the 2,000 and whatever the 1,100 is left, and make it equally half into both is my proposal, before we start stack ranking them. Because we should start stack ranking.
No, I think, sorry, I understand, but I think we are going back on what's the money left and allocate. But if that's the only money, if you, because we are coming up with that, that's only money we have, but I think we haven't even done the, because West Valley agree with it, but I think we haven't done for every one of them what we allocated. Commissioner Bono was always saying that, okay, yes, you all put in there, but I haven't agreed with all those full recommended, right? So I would like to
No, we
go
can
on
do
the
that. Before we
recommended
do
one
that,
first.
here's what I'm saying. Since we have already put the money, we can just put it and then talk about it because we don't have a whole lot of money left. So what I'm saying is we can change those numbers, but right now we are on a deficit of 1,100. So
Left, no, not
leftover,
deficit.
leftover.
Yeah, I don't.
Excess.
Excess.
I think I,
It's just a sequence. She's just saying, put it in and then do. what
And
you
then
wanna
do that. That's all I'm
So we're
saying.
still gonna do
Yeah,
it.
but you're confused when you say we don't have enough money because we already allocate. That's where the
No,
problem
no,
is.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we have 32,500.
Yes.
Bring it to the total.
And we'll just bring it to the total and then we can reallocate. That's all I'm saying. And the other thing I'm saying is if we are going with Rotary Club as to feeding people and doing a whole lot of community service, West Valley Community Services is also doing precisely that. So whatever budget we decide, we can divide it equally between the two organizations.
So make it 1,600, both. So it'll be now even. If you do 1,600,
Yeah.
can you please?
Can you just put it in there and then we can have the discussions?
Yeah, make
1,600 for West Valley.
West Valley and 1,600 for Rotary Club. Oh, yeah, that's the one, yeah. So now it should be 32,
no.
500.
100 over.
100
That's
over.
That's okay. Let's play with the rest of them, okay?
Sorry, 1,500, that's it.
Yeah.
We should be fine with it.
So,
So now we can actually start the discussion next week. And we do two things. One is we see whether we agree with the ranking. And two, then we can go over the allocations. Sounds good?
I would love to do the opposite.
You want
Go
to do
with
the
the money,
because
yeah,
the
money.
allocation comes after the ranking, right? Ranking will help you, it will clarify in your mind which one has a priority.
I actually agree with Mr. Gordon.
so,
Yeah.
no, the problem will come, I think.
Okay, that's fine. I
No, no,
am
no.
willing to switch.
No, let me share my point and we can you can make a call. So yes, the ranking is needed. Otherwise, what happens is that when you ask for like 900, you're given a 900,
Correct.
all right?
It's a small.
But that's on a low rank.
Yeah.
But you ask for a 10,000 and you're giving only 1,600.
That's right.
So what is the rationale behind even though it's a high rank?
That's why I wanted to do it
That's why you want to bring the rank down.
Yeah, so,
The rank is important because
Right,
the people will start
Correct.
looking at the rank.
right.
They should not be by amount.
But it should be based on the request of funding as
It
well.
could be, but
So
what happens
that's where it
is you
gets
have to have
confusing.
that combination. You have to have the rank
yeah,
first.
so
and then the amount.
Commissioner Bano, I agree.
I'm agreeing with.
But the problem is that if you do the other way around, I think what happens if everybody asks for 10,000 kind of, so so we need to bring them down so that we know
Yes, so I think-
what,
I think we're all.
because otherwise people ask for 900, I asked 10,000. Instead of giving 900, 1,500, you could have given 2,400, because I am on the top rank.
Right.
Why you skipped me and went to below?
So I talented, for example, we all agreed to give 900. They get their entire funding, but based on the money. So it would it will actually be very low end. It's not the first, but the lower because of the amount. Am I correct? Is it based on the
No,
amount?
there's always going to be the rank first and then the amount. And even if it's ranked number one and they ask for 10,000, we may think it is very important, but we choose to give them only 5,000.
Okay, so I think
So
one
both are
thing,
orthogonal, correlated, but also somewhat orthogonal because we
Yeah.
are making the judgment.
so Commissioner Swaman, I think maybe one thing we missed it, and I know that there is a tier level, which we missed it. So if you look at it, if it is less than 1,000, that's a
Tier one.
Tier one, and then from 1,000 to 4,999, there is a one. From a 5,000 to 999 is a tier three and a tier four. If you look into it, to answer to your question, it is a tier one. Tier one typically we allocate because if they are in some ranking, because they're less than 1,000. So we typically used to do a stack ranking within the tiers earlier day. But now we don't. It's okay. That was too complex. I know we've been sitting until 12 midnight. I do remember those days. But that's the reason why if you ask for a 900, because they come in a tier one. So tier one, we don't go too much, and even though the low ranking, we allocate. So I agree, I think we should first point we need to do is ranking
Rank it.
to make sure it is in the proper place. Then we can go into shuffle
Yes.
the money and dollars, whatever.
So one other thing we should be very clear is we should also say not recommended. For the 13, 14, 15, we should say not recommended.
Zero,
because-
just
yeah,
make zero.
We should say not recommended, not just zero, not
But
recommended,
it's a number
because
column.
when,
Yeah.
one second, Commissioner
Yeah.
Shrikant. Because when the council has additional money, they should not think that we are recommending this and that we haven't allocated budget because we don't have it. We're
Okay,
just saying do not fund. this.
okay.
Maybe let me ask you a question. So understand, but what do we need to say do not fund?
We are saying we're not
No.
recommending based on this, we are recommending.
No, it's a
these.
ranking given, so assuming that, I'm just going with it. If the, I don't know, what's the total amount of. Total, 80 plus K,
8360 or 38.
80K, yeah, 80, right?
Yeah.
I know, the budget is
Yeah.
not, so I'm just making a while, if there is 80K available, if another 50K council says do it, they might fund all full. In that case, what do we want to say, don't fund it?
Yeah.
So in my personal opinion, we say, we recommend, hey, this is a stack ranking,
Yeah.
and if you have money, excess on it,
So.
that's what we recommend, means allocate, that's where we should give another column and say, give this full, whatever, and then we can recommend some money.
So that is the ideal case. That is
Right.
the perfect case scenario where they have $80,000 to fund. But likely they will not have that kind of money.
Okay.
So the thing is, if they have anywhere in between, they have like 50,000. If we are looking at the totality of what has been asked in the top 12 that we are all aligned on makes a lot of sense. It's better to fund it more fully.
Yeah, so I agree with you. So our recommendation to the council would be, hey, this is based on the ranking. This is based on the money we have, this is what we allocated. If you have a money, step number one, please allocate from the ranking.
From the ranking,
all
top.
the things, because we didn't have money, that's why we pulled in a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
So allocate
I
them,
think
all of them.
that makes
When you come to there, if you still have it, you go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
Absolutely. That makes.
Because I don't want we don't want to recommend not to fund it because.
I think that makes ample sense.
Yeah, so that's why our recommendation to the council.
Yeah.
So that'll be in our motion.
So
Yeah.
Commissioner Kumarappan, I agree with that reasoning. As I was saying, that my concern was that they will not have $80,000, but I completely agree with the approach that we give them recommendations. Fully fund the top, and then if you have additional funding, then you go in the order that we have.
Correct.
Because the staff has done a great job in making sure that every one of these 15 applications are valid.
Yeah,
Right?
they're all
And
eligible.
they've been
They're all
screened
eligible, yep.
and all eligible. And if the council can fund all of them, fantastic.
So I have an idea. Can we have 3 columns for the award amount? One is recommended award. In this, the last 3 rows will be 0, 0, 0. So this first column is meeting the total of 32,500. And then second column, recommended award, we put in the amount that can go a little bit over 32,500. So for example, for the last 3 columns, we can allocate 1,000, 5.
No, so
something like
sorry,
that.
No, I
sorry,
think
interrupt
we
you.
should just leave it.
This is not our, see.
Yeah.
The recommendation will be very simple to the council. Hey, this is what we do, council members. If you have extra money.
Yeah.
We've given you a ranking. That's the reason why you're ranked.
Correct,
You can allocate, you fully fund each one on the rank basis.
correct.
Period. So if it is 5,000, 5,000 already, 6,000, 25,000, then they will allocate another 1,000 to them,
Correct.
so it will make it to 6,000.
Yes.
So we will recommend them to fund it fully from the top one to
Okay.
bottom, based on how much money you got. Simple.
Yeah.
We don't have to even do another work. I think that's too much for us.
Okay, so for now, for the last 3 rows, are we doing 0 for now?
Yes.
For now, that's all money
For
we
now,
have, zero.
Zero.
Okay.
We can allocate 0 right now,
Yes.
because we don't have money.
But then we still need to
We have to rank
Rank.
because we
Rank.
have
West
West
Valley.
Valley
Right.
is at 9. And I think from what I could hear from the consensus, that was the one that we put in last. So maybe we can put it as the 11th one or the 10th one, just above the Rotary Club.
So basically, if we have to change the average rank, we have to change all our ranks, right?
Well, I think we just we put it in a different sheet. We don't try to manipulate the data.
As long as
to
we're
get
in
it
agreement,
there.
that's all we
We had
recommend.
a discussion.
Yeah, so we should not go back to our original and try to change it.
No.
This is all done,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
after the deliberation,
Yes.
we felt that this should be ranked. So the
Okay.
new ranking,
Okay,
Yeah.
after the discussion, our collective ranking
Collective
would be
ranking.
different.
so basically the council doesn't need to know our individual ranking. If they see the
If they want, they can go look at the
They
data.
can look at it,
Yeah.
but the West Valley comes just above Rotary Club.
Is that what we?
Yeah.
I would say after.
I would say, yeah.
After.
Okay, after
Yeah.
the Rotary Club.
Yes.
I mean, it's either way, it doesn't matter for me.
Let me copy it first.
We're just talking about tomatoes and tomatoes.
Yeah, no, but it gives, it forms a proper sequence.
No, because I think we're all aligned on it, so it really, I mean, the reasoning is also very much, it's just like 1, 2, 2, 1.
We need a ranking column too.
Yeah.
But-
we'll put that.
It's not a
I
rank.
don't know that we need that.
Yeah, we don't need
Yeah,
this one.
We'll get the
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
it'll be obvious.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't need that.
So this is.
We-
the
I think
ranking.
you'll have
Yeah,
to
you can
move
delete
the.
that one and
Yeah.
then West Valley down.
Just move it down like that.
And then they go 1 through 11, or 1 through 12, yeah.
And move it down to.
It just goes
Under-
above Rotary, below Rotary.
One more. There.
Yeah.
Great Excel skills. And I mean, you're under the gun here. Well done, well done.
So can you put the ranking separately, because I know it's.
Yeah.
a
Wanna look-
number. Yeah, we put a ranking again, because they're not going to look at the row numbers. So if you could put
Can
the
say
ranking,
ranking, your priority ranking.
yeah. You can say final ranking, because this is after the deliberation. They need to know, oh, there is a ranking on that one. What is this ranking, right? So in the header, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
this is like final ranking after deliberation, right? So it's a final ranking. Correct.
Okay,
Okay, so now,
yeah.
The colors are messed up, but I'll just.
no worries. The colors,
Here, let's make it all the same.
got it.
Can you retotal the recommended awards? Yeah, just so we know where we are.
I think it's 32,500.
Well, yeah, but it's straight. We want it
Yeah,
to
want to make sure.
dynamically change. Get the sum in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, the minimum funding for specified column, can you move it after the recommended award?
Do you still want to see it?
Yeah, you can move it later, because if they wanted to say how much they allocate, they can use this as a reference point.
You want to put
But
it here?
yeah, but yeah, remove on that one. So the reason is, so this is what the amount requested, that's a ranking. And that's why we are recommending the one. Now, if they really want more kind of, then, okay, for the.
Get out the check.
It's up to the
Because they
council.
do need to see the minimum amount in case they have additional
Oh, yeah.
funding and whether
Yeah, yeah, no,
that is eligible or
absolutely,
not, yeah.
So now, let me bring it to original bonus point on it, commission bonus point. So now, it's all good for now, it's great, but I think we haven't done one visit on exactly how much we allocated, is it okay or not?
Yes.
So I'm born
Yeah,
with some
fine.
questions. I want to make sure that all are in agreement, yes, let's go by line by line.
I think we should go by elimination line. Are we all in agreeing that we're okay with line number 1? I am okay with
I'm
it.
okay with line number 1, let's do line number 2 and the 8.
Hold on, answer that question so that we can
Yes.
move to the next one. Are you okay with that line?
And before we get there, I have a recommendation on moving the rows itself, lines itself.
What is
So
that?
I would move, Tooth Fairy above, but you know.
No. So the reason is, we don't, see, there was a one big element, really. That's what we are all stuck because of the money. Otherwise, we could not even move them.
Yeah,
Right? But if you start moving again one by one, then it invalidates all our individual inputs and all the ranking.
Agree.
If you do one, because the one, we have a justification, because it's a lot of money and it's sitting there, and I know we couldn't, that's one of the reasons. So at least we have a reason on why we acted on it. if we start doing the other one,
No, but the ranking, we need to align on the ranking.
No, so,
Ranking.
no, because
So from.
what is the reason for, okay, let me listen to you.
Yeah.
What is the reason for
Yeah,
that?
the reason is that you mentioned that we are going to ask some task councils to, go and fund according to the ranking.
Correct.
So if we move, food ferry above, Cupertino Symphonic Band, they are not going to be stuck with, they will allocate entire 8,858 and then they don't have funds.
No, but they're
No, they won't do that. What they'll do is they'll look at what we've recommended and they may go up from, I mean, they can do whatever they want.
Correct.
Council can do whatever they want, but given that Tooth Fairy is 1,000, my sense is it's unlikely that they would they're not gonna get into that much.
I actually hear all your points and
Yeah.
I'm not at all,
Worried about that.
no, I'm not worried. I mean, I do understand where Commissioner Srikanth is coming from. Only because she's looking at the Cupertino Symphonic Band as 8,858, and once, if they choose to fund that, just by ranks and they decide to go with whole amounts, for example, then Tooth Fairy goes away, is the concern.
No.
I mean,
I
it's a
don't
small
think-
amount.
I
No,
don't
sorry.
think that will happen, so
No,
I just
it
want,
will not.
one second,
Yeah, right.
let me just finish the thought. So I wanted to address, is that the fear that we need to change the ranking because in case they fund it, it'll go up?
Yeah, it's a small
It's a
amount.
very
Yeah.
small amount and therefore, so
Yeah.
if the council says, we will fund fully because we are not going to be part of those deliberations. And they say we'll just fund fully, but let's fund however amount we have, which is not likely that the Tooth Fairy will not get funded based on where it is. I hear what Commissioner Srikanth is saying from that perspective, but I also understand what Commissioner Kumarappan is saying, because if we start moving, then we will sit here throughout
so I
the
think
day and everybody will have a different opinion of which one should be 4, which one should be 5 and so on.
Yeah, so let me make a clarification. I think there is a misunderstanding. So when we say to council, that's what we have to be very clear on what we are recommending to the council. We are not asking to council to touch anything what we recommended. So if they're going to alter, right? No, that's not what we are asking them. So the recommendation to the council will be very simple. We have recommended based on what the money have, what they are worth of, right? If we have extra money, you can allocate on top of it with whatever it is. That means they're not going to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to take 1,000 from Tooth Fairy and giving it to the school. No, that's not what we are asking.
Commissioner Kumarappan, I totally hear you. I understand. I was just addressing that Commissioner Srikanth had a different concern. That was a
But the concern,
I wanted to voice that concern, what she was saying, what she was thinking about, but I agree with you. What the commission council does will very likely follow our recommendation and give on top of it and make those allocations, but we cannot force that issue. I think I hear her fear and that's what I was saying.
Okay, let's
understand. So,
move on
no,
from that
one,
issue.
sorry, just want to make it
Yeah.
one more point on it. So far, my experience in 4 years earlier,
Yeah.
city council
Yeah.
never touches what you already recommend. They add additional based on the money.
Yeah.
They're going to take, okay, I'm going to add 2,500 from here, kind of.
Yeah.
That means it
I got that.
invalidates all our work.
Right.
No, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
What-
Okay, let's
yeah.
move on.
I
Let's
just
put
wanted
this to
to
rest.
add and finalize that last year, council went with what we recommended.
Okay,
That's what we need to focus. There's not about the ranking, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah,
okay,
recommendation.
okay.
Correct.
That's what we.
All right, that they can do whatever they want.
Absolutely.
But it just happened that they followed
Yeah.
our
In general, that's a
recommendation.
Sounds good.
I
Okay, can we go?
All right, let's go to the next line. Which line were we on? We were on line number.
We all agree on one.
Yes.
We all agree
So
on
we
that?
have to go back to it.
Yes.
So one out.
So number 2, elder
Sorry.
aid, are we all aligned with elder aid being number 2 for $5,000?
I would say
Yes.
no. Based on what my findings were per the application, and I understand the concept and the fact of the elderly and all of that, blah, blah, blah. I genuinely wanted to not fund the entire startup, but give them $2,000 so that it also forces them to ensure that they get funding also from other organizations,
I
not
think
just us.
let's actually have
That's me.
another, we had a long discussion, so let's
So
just
let
say
me- Okay, sorry, go last time.
I think 5,000's okay. I mean, I think it's gotta be at least 3,000. 3,000 is for the developer.
Got it.
And that's that chunk to
absolutely.
get that security feature in
Yeah.
there, which is so important.
Yes,
I would agree.
So I'm good with 5,000.
Are you okay with
But-
5,000?
So I will also support 5,000. The
Okay.
reason being that since I'm an app side and I know
Yes.
exactly when we ask the question on, they need to do the background check, which they are doing it in manually now with the license checks. So they need to go with the authorized, the validation check people that itself will cost. So on top of it, they need to do, and they are doing it in the proper way now.
Correct.
So they realize that if I expand further, I need to have the right background check one. For that, just to give a 3,000, they cannot proceed further.
Correct.
So for mine, I want to give the bootstrap to them, let them get that 5K. This is what spent on it because it has a Cupertino stamp on it.
Correct.
And I really love it. It connects the seniors and the teens.
Okay.
I would love to have 5K.
Commissioner Srikanth.
I'm good. Commissioner Bono was saying something just before. It's about, you were saying. I
About
thought we cut you.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay.
Are you okay?
I'm okay, yeah.
Okay, so I think we already, I also second the opinion that number two, it makes sense because it really helps the community very solidly and we are not funding them fully. We brought them down by $1,000 and they'll have to show the proof of concept for us next year anyway. And so the third one, and next one is Active Circle at $2,000. Thumbs up. Anyone with a different opinion?
I wanted to put 1,000.
1,000?
Because
For-
my
I want
aim
to hear
is,
from.
my aim was also, and just FYI, something we have not talked about, it's that basically I kind of fund everybody and still have money left. That was my aim as well. No, that's the reason why, but I'm okay with that. If we all agree
All
to
right.
put 2,000, we'll go with 2,000. So we have the top three.
Top.
Yep.
Next one is Special Olympics, Northern California, $5,000. Anyone with a thumbs down? You're with the thumbs down, tell me more.
Again, based on the number of residents that is served is very little, to be honest with you, knowing that they do have so much more funding. Where basically I'm letting you know, the way Claudio Bono sees it, we're funding other people from other cities. That is the main reason why.
I'm actually not averse to your thinking. I am a little bit on the edge. I'm quite happy to bring it down a little bit, but I'm okay with it
So
as well.
let's hear the same way.
Yeah.
around it.
I understand it's Cupertino money and we want to fund Cooper things, but we live in a region and we can't do cookie cutter
Okay.
that carefully. And
Because it is
so-
Special Olympics, that's why I'm a
Yeah.
little bit on both
And
sides.
as you mentioned, it anyways, goes into the Cupertino business homestead
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I support it for a reason, even the 12 I compared to the other ones and I looked at it. It's a special Olympics is a
For me-
unique one across all of them.
Yeah.
And I want to see them
Succeed.
having the torch
Yeah.
lining up with it and the Cupertino residents wearing the torch on that one.
Yeah.
I just really
For
love to
me,
see
the
that
Special
moment.
Olympics part, the special needs,
Yep.
and the fact that they're trying to do something positive despite all those.
That's why I'm
It's life
still.
changing.
Yes, it's life changing. And the other thing that really wins me over the homestead.
Yeah, right.
Next one is Enoch. Thumbs up, thumbs down. For me, it's a thumbs up,
And how much is that in there?
5,000.
5,000.
I would be okay with giving them a little bit less.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
actually it's on the middle. The reason, we'll go by each reason.
The reason why I'm very positive about Enoch, the first time they came to us about 5 years ago, she had asked very little amount of money and they are really giving free eyeglasses to a lot of people. And they're with healthcare being what it is and in the uncertain political situation with so many people losing Medicaid and all that, I think this is just one of those sensitive issues where I would hate for someone's lives to be, I wear glasses. So I know what it means when your power changes and you can't see, you can't read, and it gives you unbearable headaches. So if we could really make the life, it's not just a one-day thing, it's just like their entire day, their entire life makes a transformative difference. These people are doing it very cheaply too.
Yeah, I think they leverage the dollars
Yes,
very well.
Very well.
I guess on this one, coming back to, we are so constrained.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that maybe,
So last year, we are funded 2,750.
oh, okay, so it was a
So
lot
maybe,
less.
yeah.
They
So if I-
asked less and we actually told them, if you're making such a difference, can you expand? That's exactly what we said and they came back. And they do show us that
Yeah.
for a little bit of money, they make a.
So, yeah.
This
I
I
don't
feel a bit strongly about for the healthcare
Yeah,
reasons and the
yeah.
absence of.
So-
Yeah, given the,
Well, I just want to let you know, numbers talks, and again, they only serve 15 Cupertino residents, which is less than 50% of the people they serve. I also, yes, they did receive 2750, but they also money from Pub Zion, they got 3,000. One credit union, $7,500, and they do receive. So yeah, so
I'm sorry, once you're done.
no, go ahead.
So my
They
I
went from a
support
really
the,
small group to wow.
Yeah, it is not.
Can you imagine, Commissioner Stanek, that they started so small? and
Yeah,
they've
right, yeah.
They've
Yeah,
done an
so-
amazing job growing outward.
I agree with it, and I looked at their things too. So I would again go agree with the Bonachu. I agree there. But I asked some other questions with them on scalability, how they scale, how they really go. I know they are getting more attention to outside. This is good that it started, but they're getting more areas of support. And I wanted them to really work with the other organizations to do this one. For example, Shankarai Foundation, which is a huge one. I want them to partner with it. So in that aspect, I'm absolutely okay to reduce it. Whatever you think, I think
yeah.
we can go to 4 or.
Asking
So-
5,000, I would have gone for 2,500.
I actually agree with both of you. I am not that conservative. I am fine with either 4,000 or 3,000, whatever everyone goes. with.
Yeah, I might go with the
think we should-
4 because last time they
4,000
gave
or
out 3K.
3,000 is fine.
And it looks
I
like
think we
they
should go a
increased.
little bit higher than that. Because they are showing a lot.
No,
of-
4K I said.
Yeah,
4,000.
4 or 3
Again,
would be good.
15 residents.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
15.
Yeah, but we're
And yet
talking about, look,
we're removing 300 meals for, it just makes no sense. I'm just saying, I'm
True.
trying
No, I
to
agree
get
with you.
outreach to the most
we don't know,
Cupertino
can we put
residents.
a rider, I don't know, is it possible at all? And I'm asking because I'm not aware of it, that a majority of these eyeglasses should go to Cupertino residents. Is that something we
No.
can, we can't, right?
We cannot put any condition on any
Yeah,
of them. right?
conditionality.
yeah.
So
If we absolutely need to bring it down because of the Cupertino resident piece, I'm willing to go down to 4,000 if that's okay.
Yeah, and also to Commissioner Kumarapan's point, they can tie up with other.
No, but there is funding a paucity with Medicaid and all of these issues coming up. Nobody has enough money.
Yeah.
So I don't
since we
think
were
that-
given 3K last time and you said that, again, no, I did not know last year. Since they expanded the program kind of, maybe adding another
We can do
1,000 would be
4,000.
okay. So for me, 4,000 is okay because you already given, and then they showed progress based on our request.
Yes,
And then they expanded the program. So
Alright.
that's why I'm going with the 4K, otherwise I'll go
we
with
can get
3K.
that 4,000.
Yeah.
Last time they given.
Can
so-
we take
Just make
votes
another
on?
recommendation, final one, to please consider 30,000.
No,
Yeah.
I really feel strongly about 4. We brought it down.
So I'm fine with 3. You are saying 3, you are saying 4, you are saying 4.
Four.
Now, it's all in your
Give it-
hands,
give it-
Commissioner Stan.
Oh, 3.
It's gonna come in between
We gave
3,500.
them 275 and we told them come back with an expanded. They came back with expanded, so we should at least give them 4.
I think it's a high impact
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very high impact.
service that they do,
Yes.
so I'm okay with 4.
Yeah.
4, okay, 4.
In fact, I'm actually-
4 it is.
That's okay. We cannot have a all the
Did we
time.
save something from what we had put?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
becomes,
wasn't it?
now we have,
Okay.
we got 1,000.
So far we're down 1,000.
All right, where are we now? Oh my, can we make it bigger, please? I'm so sorry.
You know, at the bottom, yeah, there, yeah, excellent.
That's anything.
I could do,
Yeah, this is.
We just talked about eyeglasses. You need one eyeglass.
In the interest of time and because the staff needs to go home, let's go, because we have actually discussed all of these issues for a very long
That's
period
fine.
of time.
Right?
Let's go quickly.
Let's go to the next one. I don't see anything that requires a lot of discussion that we have not.
Now, we have $1,000 left.
So I know. Commissioner Kumar,
Yeah.
please let me.
Yeah,
finish
sorry,
before
sorry.
you jump in.
Sorry, apologies.
So the now that we have an additional $1,000, we again have to sit and figure out where to reallocate. My thing is, instead of sitting and again trying to divvy out $50 here, $50 there, put it back on INAC and then let the, let the,
May I suggest, can we first go through the list?
Yeah.
See what we have and
Exactly.
reallocate?
Yeah.
We,
Alright.
it's not too confusing.
Yeah, I
we
agree with
have
that.
already done until INAC. Next one is Cupertino
Yeah.
Symphonic Band.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with.
Thumbs up.
That's okay.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
Keep moving.
Let's
keep
go to
moving.
the next one. Remember the Tooth Fairy?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
I
that.
thought you were in violent agreement with all of us, Commissioner Bono. And then, Friends of Deer Hollow Farm,
Thumbs up.
Yes.
2,000
it's
thumbs
okay.
up. I Talented, 900 thumbs up.
Yes.
Via Rehabilitation, we said 500.
I'm so
We
sorry.
can
Hold
increase
on.
it, I feel, make it 1,000,
Should we
For
make
me,
it 1,000? Let's make it
1,000.
1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah,
1,000?
1,000.
let's make it 1,000
So fine.
via rehabilitation.
Okay,
And then sometimes we have also overfunded. If we want, we can add 1,000 to the I Talented also if we.
No,
want
no,
to.
they are asking only 900.
Okay,
Yeah,
we could potentially overfund.
no.
No, I would,
No,
Okay.
yeah, no,
Alright.
yeah.
So my thing is, if.
I would split it between Rotary.
Instead of that, why don't we just give rehabilitation 1,500?
oh my God, we're going
No.
back to what you
So,
said.
so,
Let's go.
sorry, we'll go one by one again.
So the only two left are
Understood.
Rotary Club, which has 1,600, and West Valley, which has 1,500, and we have how much money left?
500.
500. So we make them both equal. I would say that 500, give 300 to West Valley and 200 to Rotary Club.
I would say West Valley.
Okay.
Whatever it
Oh,
is.
yeah, I would say
Okay,
West Valley,
just
make
give
it
West
2,000.
Valley.
Oh, you said split? I
Yeah.
think.
We can give West Valley 2,000.
West Valley, let's do 2,000, right?
No, but I think.
Or
Make it
1,800.
2,000.
That big a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's make it 2,000 for West
Because they
Valley.
are asking for 10,000, at least 2,000.
Yeah, let's do 2,000 for West Valley.
Yeah, 20% we are giving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me just take the final vote call. Are we all aligned on
All good.
We need to
what
make a
is
motion.
there? Commissioner Kumarapan, are you aligned? Commissioner
Aye.
Shrikant?
Yes.
Commissioner Bono?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanek, so we all pass.
Do you want a motion?
Yes.
I haven't done a.
Yes, we need a
I
motion.
said I wanted to. I'm going to make a motion to pass the recommendation in the order and in the amounts, and if there is any additional amount, the council can choose to fund it as they deem fit based on the ranking that the commission has provided. I make that motion.
I second that.
Thank you. Should we take a vote on that?
Sorry, through the chair.
Yep.
Just one quick clarification. The last part of your motion, is it to fully fund the organization as requested in the rank order? Or is it just as council?
Actually, to fund it in the order for the amount that has been allocated to us. If there is additional funding that the council has available to them, they should consider the ranking as we have provided for them, assessment and then fund it. Because we have underfunded many of them. They can choose to use their own judgment if they have additional funding to fund accordingly.
Gotcha, to fully fund the organizations.
So however funded, not fully funded, but based on however much fund they have, they can choose to fund it as a deem fit.
Per
Per our recommendation and per our ranking.
our ranking. I think that was.
Yes,
In
Want to
that
get
case,
that concept in there.
correct.
That's what we recommend, that they would
Yes,
fully fund for the ranking.
through the ranking,
Or-
yes.
but
For
in that case, then we
recommendation
can remove the minimum
of
funding
warrant.
column, right? Why do we need to give the minimum funding column? So they will do it.
No, they
We can
should,
remove the
because
column,
if they,
right?
no,
Because-
Commissioner Kumarapan,
We should.
the reason why they need the minimum funding is if they don't have $5,000 or $2,000, then they cannot fund others.
Oh, that's, okay. Oh, I see. That's the reason why.
So therefore,
Okay.
that is important for them to have that.
Okay.
So, yes?
Is there a second?
Because.
Yeah, second, you do.
So let me go ahead and read back the motion so that we're all on the same page.
All right, let me pass a motion, propose a motion.
She's
I'm gonna read it back.
She's
We are
reading.
reading the motion back. Sorry.
Chair Swami, motion to recommend the city council to fund the following as listed on the screen right there, and I'll read it aloud as well, just for the transcript. To fund the following for the community funding grant program fiscal year 25-26 totaling 32,500. No Time to Waste 5,000, Elder Aid 5,000, Active Circle, 2,000. Special Olympics, Northern California, 5,000. INOC, 4,000. Cupertino Symphonic Band, 3,000. Remember the Tooth Fairy, 1,000. Friends of Deer Hollow Farm, 2,000. I Talented, 900. Rehabilitation Services, 1,000. Rotary Club of Cupertino, 1,600. West Valley Community Services, 2,000. And 0 for Chinese American Coalition for Compassionate Care, Innovart Foundation, and Asian American Parents Association. And if there is additional funding available to fund the organization's requested amount in rank order at council's discretion.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, and Vice Chair Bono has seconded the motion.
Yes.
All right, so we'll go for a vote. Everyone is, no more discussion on our motion. Okay, Commissioner Kumarapan,
Aye.
Commissioner Shrikant, Commissioner Salmon,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bono,
Yes.
Chair Swami.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Jacinta, thank you for, well done.
There are staff and commission reports, so since it is late in a bit late tonight. I have the mayor meetings. Do you want me to say this today or do you want me to reserve it for the next meeting?
At the discretion of the chair.
What does the commission think?
We
What
will
is that
make a
again?
motion to make a motion.
Could you send it around?
Can we send it?
Actually, I'll just do it quickly.
Okay, that's fine.
So instead of deferring that. So I have the huh?
So there is staff and commissioner, one we're talking about.
Okay. No, there is a mayor's meeting that I attended on March 19th
see.
in person. So we actually had, we went around and looked at various commissions that actually gave their overview. For the arts and culture, they looked at various categories and defining a theme of building a sustainable community with the categories for young artists, emerging artist awards, distinguished artist award. And they also presented certain awards in their meetings. The bicycle pedestrian, they focused on the Stevens Creek Boulevard. They're actually looking at the running and funding a study, the corridor vision study for the Stevens Creek Boulevard. And they will make recommendations to the commission following that. The Housing Commission, they also have made their recommendations. And one of the things that they have actually looked at is, the consolidated plan of 2025-26, as well as the anti-displacement strategy that they actually have presented. The Library Commission looked at they're actually looking at a poet laureate recruitment, and they've created a subcommittee for that. And they are hoping that this time the poet laureate will be more active than before. The Planning Commission has approved the Hillside Exception Project for the construction of a new single-family residence on Regnard, which has a very steep downward incline. And then the Public Safety Commission, and this is a very important one. There's with all these various burglaries that are happening. Captain Valenzuela presented the detailed crime statistics report and took questions from the commissioners. And so the sheriff's office representative reported that all kinds of commercial burglaries are reported in the statistics provided. And there is a significant concern among the Cupertino residents with the ongoing number of burglaries that have really not reduced substantively. The Sustainability Commission was cancelled, they have nothing, and therefore the next one is the Teen Commission. With received presentations on community development, and they are continuing to do their yeoman work, and they're looking at teen speaker series topics with high priority on personal finance and how to choose a STEM and other majors in college. Technology Information Communication Commission, they are looking at augmenting the tour for augmented reality and McLean Ranch app tool. And they're also looking at Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office camera registry programs for homes where they have cameras and how they can register it. So with that, are there any other reports that anyone wants? That concludes the mayor's meeting report from me. Does anyone else have any staff or commission report?
We do have a staff.
You do have a staff report.
I'll try.
Yes.
All right. Start, let's just get going. Our first item for our staff report is just a wrap up of Big Benny. That happened on March 8th. And as you can see in our picture, I wanted to just quickly thank Commissioner Kumarapan and Commissioner Shrikant and that they were there at the event, and I know you took some wonderful pictures. Thank you for that. We had 503 in the main race and then 121 in the kids fun run. So
That's amazing.
It was.
Wow.
And then next, the teen resource fair. I'm just gonna say a couple extra things about this because this is kind of near and dear out of my division, but also it's a very unique event. This is a three-way partnership between the city, Fremont Union High School District Council, which is a student-led council, and Main Street Cupertino. We had city staff there recruiting for all of our part-time positions and volunteer roles within the city. We had representatives from our 4 team groups, YAB, Commission, Rev, Recreation Event Volunteers, and LITs to speak to the potential volunteer opportunities in the city. And then the Interdistrict Council from Fremont Union High School District, they organized all the mental health wellness booths that came to the event. So this was a consolidated event, and we get great turnout, and we've definitely seen an increase in the number of applications for part-time employment. So I'm really proud of that event. So that one happened, and our next one is Earth and Arbor Day, which is coming this Saturday, day after tomorrow. And just again, you'll notice that it's a Parks and Recreation event, that we're coordinating that event for the first time this year out of our department. And we're very excited about that, but it'll be 11 to 3 on the library field. And then next we have our Hack Cupertino, and No Your Eyes Don't Deceive You. That is from 6 p.m. to 10:30 a.m. April 12th and 13th. And that's a team-driven event, and Robert Kaufman, our team coordinator, will be overseeing that. And last but not least, we have our summer Parks and Recreation schedule. But our resident registration starts April 8th, non-resident April 15th. And we have the cupertino.gov/recreation schedule if you'd like to sign up. And you can always sign up for e-notifications, cupertino.gov/e-notification. Upcoming presentation to commission. Really quickly, for our next meeting, May, we've actually slated a staff member, me, to come and talk about facilities and rentals. So we have staff there. We like to give you a heads up about what's coming up so that you know if you have questions that you can kind of prepare those. You can always let us know if you have specific questions beforehand so that we can think about those before our presentation. And then in June, we have the Parks and Recreation Marketing Coordinator that's going to be coming to present.
Awesome.
Commissioner Stanek. I think you have I do, but. Yes.
For Big Bunny Fun Run, how did the participation compare to previous years?
Oh, that's a great question. So we actually dropped a little bit from last year. We were building, I can just really quickly tell you, we were at
3 talk to
339, 382. That was for 2022, 2023, and then we went to 608. So we built up, and then we dropped to 503 in the main race. The kids fun run has stayed pretty steady, right around 120. And this year we actually had a lot of rain right before the event, and so it really took a lot of registration on like the last day and the day of, which is really hard to do for an event like that. But yeah.
Okay, and one follow-up question, how was Spring Pooch Plunge? How was the attendance?
I don't have an answer for you. I think it was sold out.
Oh, it was sold out, great, that's.
But I'm not sure. So
Last I saw, it was completely sold out.
yeah,
Okay. I didn't get,
so I guess I do have an answer for you. It was sold out.
okay, that's what I want to know.
I want to commend how well it was done, how many, and how successful it was. Thank you.
And I just have two things to add on real quick. The mayor's meeting that Chair Sami attended, you can also view the updates from the other commissions. They posted it in the council memos. So if you can also subscribe to that through the e-notifications as well, so you can get emails for them. But I saw that they had just posted that the other week. So that's something you guys can all take a look at as well.
I can go subscribe.
And then the second thing, just real quickly, consistently across the board for all commissions who are televised and recorded, we will be moving to action meeting minutes. We currently right now do summary meeting minutes, so I summarize your guys' comments and questions and really thoroughly kind of type that all out. With the recording now, YouTube does have a live transcript, and so the clerk's office has approved for all commissions to move to action meeting minutes. And we will post instructions for the public online on how to view the live transcript. And I will email you all exactly where that is, the PDF, and when I'm able to get the template ready. So I just wanted to inform you all that the next meeting minutes you see, they will be condensed because we are moving to action minutes.
In that case, okay, the question is, so when we approve the meeting minutes on it, we'll just go with the action meeting minutes.
You'll see in the meeting minutes that in the draft that it's no longer gonna be kind of everyone's comments written out and summarized. It'll just be the motion that was made, the voting, public comment, really condensed version of the current meeting minutes, because currently we do summary.
So
Are there any other questions?
So we will need to go back to the reporting to ensure that it's.
Please, your Commissioner Bono.
So we will need to make sure in order to approve them or not, that this really takes to either be at the meeting, if not be at the meeting, making sure that we actually look at the recordings.
Correct.
For accuracy. We can't just change anything anymore.
Correct, because the live transcript is auto-generated.
Copy.
I'm not able to change that. It is auto.
That makes sense. Thank you.
I don't have this thing, otherwise I would have pressed it.
You can use this.
One thing is YouTube has transcribed, so I think you can just go to the side and just copy and paste it. It's not as good as beautiful summarization. And there are obviously going to be some probably translation or transcription errors, but it's pretty good.
Yes, and it's just something that they're doing across the board for all commissions who are live streamed and recorded and televised.
Yes.
But there will be instructions, like an actual PDF for the public to read on how to exactly get to the transcript.
Copy.
All right, if we have no other questions, I can go on to the next item. All right, future agenda setting items. Anyone have any future agenda items that you want to? And because we are no longer going to have a summary, I think it is incumbent on us, on me or one of us to actually take the notes on future. I think that's.
Sorry, the commissioner report is it, and I just want to talk about it. Draft and the commission report.
We finished that. We have gone to the next one. Once again.
It's okay.
We did not. So there are commission reports. Commissioner Kumarappan.
Yeah,
Please
that's
give your
what I thought.
commission
If that report is okay, I was waiting for it. Okay,
Yes.
fine. So, no, I, of course, I went there and of course worked with them. It's the first time I engaging deep with them and running around taking photos and stuff. It was such a energized event. I think your daughter won to one of the particular age categories. I happened to meet her. It was fantastic event. So that's a one. And the same day at 11 o'clock, and then they had the Little League. They won the initial one, Cupertino. It was fantastic. So of course, mayor and almost all council members were there, 3 or 4 of them. So it was fantastic to see that, witness it is such a great thing. I participated in that too. Both were amazing. I think it looks like they were funded last year with a good funding, so they were like very happy to see them. So I just wanted to say those two. That's it.
Excellent. Any other commission reports, anything that you may want to add, Commissioner?
I enjoyed the 5K bunny run, volunteering at that event. I would continue to volunteer to that event.
And Jessica, I'm actually with a few others we have 4 other events rest of the year. And so we will be representing from the commission. A couple of us will be going. I think it's really wonderful to hear how great this was. Any other commission reports? All right, we'll move to the next one, which is future agenda setting. Yes, please, anyone has it, let me know so I can call on it. Commissioner Stanley.
As you heard, I asked for Susan to bring the Lawrence Committee plans back if they could before they go to council to put it on our agenda, because that would be good to see.
We will ask.
Thank you.
All right,
And for future agenda settings, obviously, the grants that we just do today is an important one. And based on last year, I think, with all due respect, we're kind of missing what we did today would be a great way to somewhat push through additional, make it that what we did is, that's how we should go. You know what I'm saying? No, let me rephrase that in English. Like, can we on future agenda items, like have more question answers on how to do this? For example, right now, if we had to do it a month from now, we would know more or less how to do so. We do our research, we do the rankings and all of that, but I think there's still somewhat of an issue about the ranking, whether it's more about the money, more about the combined one, what do we want, I think it's still very cumbersome. And I'm trying to make it easier because every year we always forget about it. And then we have to go through 2-3 hours of crazy process. And please make that one page better for my eyes. It's so bad. I don't know. It has to have a better way to show. And like I said on that list, you mentioned that all of them meet eligibility. So there are some columns that kind of are the answer for themselves and they should be removed out. So I think we should have one that says, this is the category I really want, 1, 2, and you place it from 1 to 15 or whatever that number, because that's the step I kind of missed. And at the end, with all the research, all the amounts, the grants that we have versus what is requested, I think we lost ourselves because it's like a brouhaha of so many reports that at the end it's like, I don't know what matters most. But I think if I'm agreeing, what matters most is how much we give, not based on what the amount, but.
So sorry, is it a process change you are requesting?
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to understand.
process change and a sheet change.
Yeah, so basically,
once again, let's actually go in order, please.
Yeah.
Commissioner Kumarapan. You have to press it, yes.
Yeah, no, I think I got one item, but future item, but I just want to answer. So that's what I want to get a clarification. Is it the process change?
Yes.
And how they presented the data is what you're asking for.
And yes, and for example, also maybe put for next year what we did this year so that we have an understanding on how that works, because I did this last year. It was brand new again for me today. In a sense, it's confusing enough, but at least we can kind of have an idea of what we did last year so that we can mimic at the end what the final result will be. And I think that will be very helpful.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna answer to that I see that more as a clarification of the process, not necessarily an agenda item to discuss.
Yeah, that is true.
So we can take that, I can take that feedback and we can let, Jacinta know and that you'd like a more clear process and direction, a little more direction. Some of it, she won't be able to give you as much direction because you'll note that a lot of it was, that is up to the commission to decide on some of the process even. So, but we will take that feedback and that we can have an earlier discussion to give you more information before you go to it.
This is the 5th year in a row for me, and I think much longer for you, Commissioner Sana.
Yes.
And every single year, this is the one meeting in the entire year where just because of the money and the funding, just from background experience, it has always been the same because everyone feels passionately about it and there's a healthy discussion and the consensus forming. So it's almost like it is messy to do the cooking, but once the cleanup is done, The dish looks beautiful.
That's well said.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
Like, on the future, isn't it?
Future agenda item, Commissioner Kumarapan.
So I would like to see, I know they presented on the SIP and it's based on my questions on the. Yeah, oh, address to her, not to you. Sorry, maybe I should look at this. So we asked about the defunding and how they stack ranking, prioritizing. Well, if they say that you need to defund, last time they said they are working on it, I would like to see, so how we can help the staff. Because if they are going with it, it's already 90% whatever, it's progressing, and if the council is asking to defund, how they are going to defund the projects. I just want to know, is there anything we can help to add our voice to it? So if they come before they go into present, the same way like for Lawrence PD project, it'll be good to see whether we can help them in any way. That's only future agenda.
So to paraphrase, what you're saying is for defunding, you would like to understand the process of the defunding and if there's any potential help that we can provide
Correct. Thank you.
in process. Commissioner Shrikant?
So for next month's agenda, I would like to see what funds have been allocated by the council. No, it
That
won't happen.
happen quite so quickly.
Yeah, it's only late. Okay. When does that happen?
It's part of budgeting.
May, June.
Okay, sure. Okay, that will be for the month's future.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have one future agenda item.
Can I stop there? So as far as a future agenda item, you're asking to see how council funds the CIP projects.
Not CIT, funds this grant program.
Grant funding.
Okay, so that probably would not be an agenda item as well. We agreed to try to like go through and if it's proposed, that would be something that you would watch the council meeting when they.
Got it.
Just refer you to that council meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
And also to Chair Swami, we will let our chair know as well when that item's going, the budget item's going. Because usually the chair will represent the commission at the
Okay.
meeting and be there to answer any questions that council should have any.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And when it is finalized, I will let you know.
Absolutely. Thank you. I have one did you have another?
It was just a process point. It's like
Commissioner Stanek, please.
on future agenda items. So if something is proposed by a commissioner other than the chair, I believe it needs a second before it actually becomes a future agenda item for a proposal to get it there. And if the chair proposes it, it doesn't need a second. Just thought I'd put that in here.
Well, for each one of,
I
you need to have a motion to do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
I see.
but those things weren't agenda items for me, so.
did you want to make that a future agenda item, Commissioner Kumarapan, what your proposal of understanding the defunding process?
Yes. So then should I
Go
make a
ahead and
motion?
you should make a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion to bring the topic of the prioritization and defunding work which the staff does to present to the council. We wanted to have a preview so that commission can help them. So that's my,
Can I clarify, but your question was not in regards to CIP or it was in regards to the CIP?
It's regarding CIP.
So again, I don't know that that would be a standalone agenda item for you. If we are able to get Susan back in the next meeting, because it was requested of her if she could come back, then that would be something that you would back, or we could let her know that that's something that you're interested in knowing about. And if she's able to come back in May, then that would be something we would give her a heads up that you're interested in knowing.
yeah,
As a standalone agenda item. It's really something, it's not something we can put on because we need to have her come from another.
Can I
Commissioner Boyle.
I just wanted to say, to be honest with you, all we need to do. City council knows very well that they can ask the chair or commissioner for any additional assistance. All we need to do is just look at the council meetings, that's all, or show up in case if they have any questions, but the processes will be. And it was talked last night about the defunding, they will have to review that the staff and Susan Michael will have to go back to city council, they will still have a lot of conversation. So we won't know, but we can look at it and be we will be in the know by watching city council. So they still have to come back to see.
No, I think that's an action they're going to take, but what is it? I'm worried, I care about the park and rec, those ones in blue or green, whatever the color. Only for those projects, I wanted to see what our staff is going to recommend in the order and why, how they made the decision of defunding recommendation, because they asked them to come back with the defunding thing, right? So the staff is going to go, and I wanted to see it because it comes to our preview. And I wanted to see, is there any way we can look into it, we can help, and we might even change it, I just wanted to have a preview. And if it is too much time, and if they have to go May and we don't have much time, and I know that she's presenting everyone, I understand, at least a written preview of it, even if it comes through email, that'll be good, so that we can ask.
And the reasons for it.
Instead of being blank on that day and then seeing it, I said, oh, we should have helped kind of. So I just want that before it goes, because especially the CAP projects belong to Park and Rec. That's all it is. And as you said, I understand Suzanne's time. I don't want her to really go ahead and do all the roundabout to go to all commissions, but at least I want some data about it so that I can digest it. If I'm going to present there, I'm going to be there raising why I support staff's one, whatever, I need to know this, and I don't want to just to see it at that time. So that's my proposal. It's based on availability of the staff. So it's not a must to have based on a time constraint, but I just wanted to put a proposal on it. Make a motion on
Would be
it.
a directed question for us to pass along to Susan when she returns, rather than a future agenda item.
That was going to be my next question, but yeah, that certainly is, would be great to know how the commission can potentially learn, inform, participate if possible, is what Commissioner Kumarapan is asking.
Okay, it need not be a future agenda item, it's okay, but I just put the motion on it. If it's just a direct question, it's okay.
Are there any other future agenda items anyone wants to propose? I want to propose one, which is just looking into the wants and needs of the senior citizens, and I'd like to kind of form a subcommittee just to do the study. If there's any other commissioner who wants to join, I'm happy to do the heavy lifting. Thank you, Commissioner Kumarapan.
Okay, so we've been directed that subcommittees, we would refer you to our director, correct? I believe that after, because subcommittees are sort of new, and I know that came up at the
It's meeting, yes.
Yes, and so I believe we've been directed to have you work with Rochelle directly, if there's something that you want to form a subcommittee just to discuss.
Absolutely, we'll be happy to take it up with her.
Yep.
Thank you. So because to make any future motion, the reason I want to explain to the commission is to understand what are the issues that we can propose any future events. In terms of any improvements. So if there are no other items, I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep it up.